don't know what to do with my hands. Just hold them up the whole time.
Do you talk with your hands?
Oh, yeah. From New York.
You're from Jersey.
No. The lady's from New Jersey.
What part of New York are you from?
Central. Syracuse. Not the city. It's like 7 hours away.
So how are you from New York?
Oh, my God. Don't get me started on this. This will be an hour-long conversation with you.
We got 3.
We can go long if y'all want. You want a double or single? Do y'all want to? I'm not gonna force
I'm good.
No.
You're
I
gonna
gotta
drink
drive
all?
later. No.
I don't drink.
Told you this could be the soberest podcast.
This sucks.
I'll drink with you.
All right, buddy. We'll watch everybody else fucking be squares.
It's okay.
I mean, I'll peer pressure into it. Just give me time.
Well, the whole point of the drink is to like to help y'all relax and.
Yeah, do it.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
And you have 3 hours. I think you'll be sober enough to drive in 3 hours.
Well, to be fair, I only drive 2 minutes.
You can walk home, literally.
It's gonna take
Yeah,
me
seriously.
about 3 days to walk home.
We could all walk home. Let's be honest, but how
You're
long
not
does
wrong.
that? How long does that take?
It'll just take you forever. What street do you live on?
This one.
I don't doubt that he lives on this street.
What street did Finney live on?
Same one.
Same one, yeah.
Does it curl around?
Literally a house right down the...
Yeah.
It
right
curls
next to mine.
around.
Is it on this same street?
Yeah, like when you guys turned right onto the street,
Yeah.
it's like 6 houses down.
But Finney lives
No,
down.
No. He lives right next to me.
Yeah.
The 3 of
Or
them
he did.
lived on this street.
Was it this? All right, maybe I was wrong.
Dude, I had to abandon like my pretty expensive mountain bike close to y'all's yard, and I saw you weren't home. I had to like text him like, "Hey man, I had to like give up my bike to get my kid home. He just like threw a tantrum on his bike. So would you mind just like pulling my like 3,000?
Can you please get my bike?
Yeah, can you get my $3,000 mountain bike like from your neighbor's yard?" He's like, "Yeah, I got you." I'm like, "Dude, thank you so much." All right, pass these down.
Oh, these are fancy.
Super fancy.
I like how you got the glasses engraved.
Me too.
It's pretty nice.
All right. Cat.
Cat.
Cat. Yeah.
All right, we've been rolling for a minute. I just didn't tell y'all.
Nice.
For real?
We got your N-word on there.
I didn't say no N-word.
But I'll do an introduction. I forget what episode this is, but to my left, chair 1, we have Shaun. Cat purple, cat red.
Yep.
Chair 2, we have Ryan. Cat red, cat blue, cat purple.
Yep.
All 3.
You owe me a lot of money.
I told you that was going to be brought up today.
Oh, yes. And then we have Brayden, our fearless senior line.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cheers.
Token white boy.
Yeah.
Before you two came.
Here we are. I think this is the first time I've ever had anyone on that is, what is it called? Like your dependent is married? Mill to mill?
Me? Oh,
All 3.
All,
And him,
yeah.
yeah. And so the first time I've ever had anyone on that's mill to mill, all 3 of y'all are mill to mill.
That's so funny.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Everyone's single or married to a dependent.
Yeah, I got the dependopotamus just pumping out babies downstairs. Yeah, she talks shit on the podcast. These were the curtains were red, and then I needed more, and I ordered another pair, and they got lost in the mail, and then I ordered another pair, and then they like sold out. So I was like, all right, I'll switch over to purple. And I like spent all this time. Like this took forever to get it like looking nice. And she comes in and she's like, such a pimp. She's got her foreign accent. She's such a pimp. I'm like, what? She's like, purple's for pimps. What are you? And I'm just like, you can leave now. You can go. And she's like, what? What's going on? I'm like, just get out. You,
Just go, please.
I just
go.
spent 4 hours trying to put these
truly.
up.
Yeah, we got some upgrades since the last one. Hopefully this one goes well.
That's nice.
Thanks, guys.
I really like it.
Appreciate y'all coming.
It's got a Prince vibe to it.
Yeah. I try and emulate all things Joe
Yeah,
Rogan.
it
So
does.
Joe Rogan had the purple for a while, and I liked it. So I was like, let's fucking send it. And then I instantly found another one I liked better. I was like,
But you already got this one.
Yeah, it was like a more gray purple that would have blended in better over there. But yeah, this is besides what Gonzo. This is all of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all the
Gonzo,
all the gatey ones.
did you ever watch this?
Yeah, we don't count them.
Yeah, we don't count them.
Yeah. Just put those guys.
They
to
were
the
so
side.
separate, dude. They were so. I don't know how you perceived them, but
No,
like
they just did their own thing,
they did their own thing. They didn't show up to shit.
We all
They
did
didn't
our own
get
thing.
they didn't get bitched at
which
for
is
that.
crazy because you never showed up to shit.
I
and
should-
always got called out.
Yes, that's like a struggle I'm like dealing with now. It's like, do I show up to Sailor 360 here at Camp Pendleton,
Mhm.
or just like send it and see how it goes? And like I've like expressed that to some people, and they're like, dude, you got to go, because if you'll put a marker on yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, dude. And that's basically, I just had a marker the entire time I came back from that place we were at,
Oh yeah.
and that sucked pretty
You
hard.
had your babysitter from, who was it, Jones?
Yeah, I got brought back from this place, undisclosed place, and I got escorted around by Jones. And he's like, "Come on, man, we need to go talk to Chief." I was like, "Well, you just put me in a room with all my gear, and y'all don't have a key, and you're all like, it's chill." I'm like, "No, it's not chill. I need a key for my room. I'm not down like that." And he's like, "Well, Chief's waiting on you." I was like, "Why do you need to be here?" And he's like, "I was told to escort you." He's like, "Also need your med bag."
Oh,
I'm like,
great.
Yeah, they confiscated my Cat Blue SL3 med bag and took it to H&S. And that was the first time I was like, all right, cool. I have no accountability for anything in that bag. Anything that's missing, that's the situation it went missing on. Dude, they used it for coverages, all sorts of shit. And I don't think any of you're still in 2-1, I guess, technically.
Yep.
So it's all old news now. But dude, I robbed everything from my med bags, and there was no accountability later on. I remember you telling me, or someone told me about the suture kit. No, it was Gonzo. He's like, that's $600.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay.
I have 3.
I never.
was gonna
Oh, dude,
say,
I don't.
That's so many.
I don't know how many I have, but I just remember Gonzo giving me a med bag out of the back of his Honda on a Friday with no
Nothing.
anything. He's
Empty.
like, this used to be who was it, Mingoa?
Mango.
He's like,
Yeah.
this is Mingoa's old bag.
Yep.
I'm like, all right. He's like, you should go through it. I'm like, okay. And like, yeah, dude, sometimes I have to restrain myself from like getting ghetto and
Yeah.
like going Marine Corps. At the hospital, I had a barracks watch for like 16 hours. It was really weird.
Ooh.
And so I'm like touring the building, and it was built for wounded warriors, but they never got approved to like move in. We were supposed to relieve some of the strain on what's over there, Walter Reed. But they never got like approval to bring over wounded warriors. So we had like 0 threshold, like doors extra wide, all this stuff for like wheelchairs and stuff, and like 3 different rooms for like therapy. One was like a cardio therapy room, one was like a weightlifting, and I forget what the other one was. But I'm on duty and I get into these rooms and it's all untouched and they're locked. They're never opened.
Should be.
We're not at war.
Yeah,
That's true.
and well, there's no one. Everybody's fit and able, and they don't use those facilities.
Yep.
And so, I remember like looking at all the security cameras on duty, and like looking at all these thousands of dollars of kettlebells
That aren't being used.
that aren't being used.
Just collecting dust.
And like moving, I took like one down to the duty, and then like I brought it back, and like went out to the exit to see like how the cameras like filmed me. I was like, "Fuck, dude, I am here to prevent this from happening," which is such a common thing for like the duty to steal some shit. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
happens
yeah.
all the time.
Oh, 100%.
Some
Bro,
gun-
you're bored at 1 o'clock in the morning. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I can get away with this.
and it's
Nobody's going to watch it at 1 a.m.
yeah, and it's some gunny, some gunny's just like, take that shit. And you're like, all right, fuck it. I don't
Okay,
give a
okay.
shit. But I took I called out the main duty, and I'm like, hey, what's my rest cycle? And they're like, just go to sleep. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, just like sleep in the little room over there. But it had an automatic light, so anytime I would turn,
Light
Hop
off.
on.
I fucking click on. It was maddening. And I pull like a couch out of one of the rooms that weren't used. I push it in there like all the way down the hall. And then I come back like a few weeks later and like everything was put back perfectly. I was like, oh, they're watching. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I didn't go Marine Corps ghetto on them and steal everything.
Kettlebells.
Just like, why is your truck riding like that? Like, them shocks must have gone out.
Shocks went out.
So y'all are all, I think all of y'all are off to different places. Are you?
Not yet.
Not
I'm still trying to figure it out.
still
Make
trying
up
to,
your mind.
Yeah, I wish I could.
but you're going to Japanese land,
Pakistan.
Japanistan.
and then you're
Yes,
going
sir.
to the place I wanted to go
Yep.
to,
You're welcome.
San Antonio, Texas.
Just let him stay at the house.
We talked about it.
Oh,
I already bought a house.
Yeah.
I saw she
Yeah.
posted and then tagged me in it.
Trying to get, I don't know if he's not good about responding, but I talked to
Nah.
about, okay.
Yeah.
I talked to
Good luck
about it
reaching out.
because he used to be tracks, and so he's at some like going away for someone. I'm like, oh, I heard you and I don't want to say your last name, but are going to are going to Texas. He's like, yeah. I'm like, didn't you get married? You say you have like stepkids and stuff. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, do you have a place? He's like, no. I'm like, well, I'm going to Italy. I have a house in the middle of the country with lake access if you're interested in that. He's like, yeah. And so it could be the perfect fit, but I don't know if he's,
So he got married?
I do believe.
I know he had a kid. I didn't know he got married.
I didn't know he had a kid. Like, is it his or is it a stepkid?
Stepkid.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
what,
Oh,
because it was something, I was like, oh,
This was from like when we were all still in the old BAS. He was going through that whole,
No, I remember the divorce.
yeah.
I just don't remember the.
Yeah, there's a kid.
Stepkid, I
There's
knew.
a kid.
I mean, now I think he's married with a kid now.
With another one.
With a stepkid. I do believe. Because I
He's
said,
collecting them all.
Collecting all the Poke badges.
I remember saying something like, because he's like doing something dad-esque, you know, like in something like, oh, you got your white New Balances with grass stains on it. He's like, what? I'm like, your dad hat or whatever. He's like, stepdad hat. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, stepkid. Does that count? I'm like, depends how in you are.
Yeah,
Like, if
exactly.
you're all in or you're like, oh, that's not my kid, you know? So yeah. Fuck.
So you excited?
Am I excited?
Yeah.
I'm riddled with stress.
Makes sense.
Dude, I'm stressed moving 3 states down, let alone across
Yeah.
country. I'd be losing my mind.
Cross country, cross the world.
Virginia to
Yeah.
here was a good bit of stress, but as soon as like the movers came and picked our stuff up, it was like, everything's
Relief.
gonna work out.
How was that process?
It was hard because it was COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed to move because my wife was pregnant with my second kid, and I think they had a guy fail FMTB before me, and so they're like, well, you're trying to what is it, PC, permanent change of
Station.
station, assignment, whatever. You're trying to move houses all the way to California on the clause that you're going to pass this school, and if you fail, you could go somewhere else, like truly anywhere else. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, we're not really comfortable. And so I had to like convince them, like, hey, I'm going to pass this course. I'm a fucking Marine. I'm going to be all right. And so I had to get like that approved. And then because I wasn't going overseas, but I was going to a deployable unit, I needed an overseas screener. And they wanted my whole family to do it. I was like, no, you guys, you Army people are confused.
Well, you're supposed to.
My family's supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They let me not.
Does everyone follow that? No.
No.
Yeah. I was just talking to my wife about our overseas screener. She's like, I need to get,
Did she do one for this move?
they have to now.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
and I was explaining why. But she's like, it's so much to do because I have to get the kids' dental records from out in town. I'm like,
They'll be fine.
They'll lose all their teeth eventually.
I was just like, look, we're not.
They'll be replaced.
And I tried to explain to her, like, I had this guy come in for a, like, JLV driver's license or something, you know? Like, hey, sir, can you blindly sign this, please? You know how it goes? And he just caught it real quick because the guy was in the room. He's like, you screen this? You know, you screen this? I was like, yes, sir. And he's like, okay, well, it says doesn't wear glasses. I was like, damn it.
He had glasses on.
And he's like, what else? What else didn't you screen? It's like in our main room in the BAS. And I was like, no, he's good to go. He's like, well, I do have a knee. And I was just like, hey, man,
Shut the fuck up.
why don't you shut up? And he's straight up. I think it was still Gunderson. It might have been Mitchich or whatever his name was. But one of them was just like, you need to listen to your corpsman right now. And the guy was like, what? I was like, shut your fucking mouth. He's like, oh. Go get this fixed. Say you fucking wear glasses and come back. He's like, okay. And I like walk with. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? We're not here to like fix you right now. This is to get you to be able to drive. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to explain that to my wife. Like, this isn't for the kids to like get appointments and get you whatever this and that. This is as fast as possible to get a signature says we're all okay. We can go to Sicily.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You keep doing this to your wife, though, getting her pregnant, and then you have to move.
Not my kid, dude.
It's not his.
It's a surrogacy.
He looked so
He
confused.
didn't know that.
I was like,
He was like, did I fuck up?
it's like,
Yeah, that was
it's a touchy subject.
nah, it's not. I remember
I was
It
the
was-
same the first time. I was like, oh, you got her
when I
pregnant
asked you?
again?
yeah, I think it was Morphin and Kung's reenlistment at the beach.
Oh, yep.
And just like something, oh, my wife's fucking being a bitch. She's fucking pregnant as shit. And you're just like,
Oh, congrats, dude.
yeah. And then I was just like, not my kid. And like, there was just a moment of silence. And I was like, oh, it's something called a surrogacy. And they're like, oh,
Oh, that
What?
makes
Oh,
sense.
that- yeah.
how is that? I was like, it's for,
Where was that when you were like,
yeah,
it's not my kid? I was like, oh.
yeah, it's for a friend that isn't, she has ovarian scarring. She can't have a,
Your wife's a really good friend.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a
yeah, that's what I said. But it's funny because he's a home builder. He's like a hands-on guy and like a construction manager for homes in San Clemente. So like high-end stuff.
Oh, damn.
And then she's like a model, kind of. And she
Is this the friend that was here when we had your little cookout?
it was the daughter in the kind of Spanish.
Yeah.
She makes various monies from like kind of random entrepreneurial stuff. But they're super busy because they're trying to get a house ready for a second child, and it's like under construction. And they never have any time to hang out. And I was like, we were going to get ice cream and pizza yesterday. I was like, hey, you want to call like Jamie and Stu? She's like, oh, no, they're going to be busy. I'm like, okay. I was like, did you show him about our kid's haircut? Because he has a very like Australian mullet like haircut, and he's Australian. She's like, no. I'm like, are you actually friends with these people you're doing this for? She's like, yes. I'm like, you sure? Because I never see him. We never hang out. My mom was in town. I invited them over. They couldn't come. Are they really our friends? No, they're cool people.
They're sus.
They're sus, dude. Australians.
Goddamn Australians.
I love
So you cut your son's hair?
Mostly. I did one side really good, and one side he was crying so much. Really bad. Dude, and then I take him to the barber to like fix it. He's like perfectly fine. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
It's because you did it.
I think
He's
so.
like, oh.
He was like, I'm sorry. And like I started to feel really bad. I'm like, no, you didn't do
You're
anything.
fine, you're
Yeah,
fine,
you didn't do
you're
anything,
fine.
buddy. I'll yell at one, and the other one will come up like, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm like, no, you're good.
It's not you.
Well, sick, dude. What are you trying to figure out? Let me
Yeah.
just
just
say.
life.
Let me just say this. I don't think grass is greener on the other side unless you're an officer.
It's very true. I mean, there's always I don't know. The biggest thing about O is like, it's money.
Yeah, money and the ability for, I don't know what percentage of the military is officers, but like there's let's say broad numbers, 60% of the military can't tell you what to do.
True. That is true. I mean, but like, what would I like
How
go
many-
officer?
I'd
and-
probably say 75.
You think 75
Yeah.
enlisted?
It's
Oh, yeah.
a lot.
That's fine. But just think about
Yeah,
that. You're an O1 and some E9 can't tell you what to do.
Technically.
He can't.
Technically.
They always throw that one in there.
Technically. You know for a fact.
Yes, but who was the guy that took over Cat Purple once we got back from deployment?
Was it Gresham?
Gresham.
Gresham.
came into Cat Purple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was the commander of Cat Purple.
Yeah, when Pete left.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we have all the Vics lined up on the whatever the fuck the tarmac,
The grinder.
the grinder, and we're like boonies, no boonies or Kevlars.
I know this.
Sergeant Major comes up to like Sarovi and I think like Morris.
Mm-hmm.
He's like correcting them on not wearing the proper.
Proper 8-point cover.
And it's brought up that their lieutenant isn't. And he's like, well, you should, as a sergeant, you should correct your lieutenant.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch's is like, what? Well, whatever. Grisha was like, the fuck did he say? And he went and bitched out. He complained up to the BC, and then the BC bitched out fucking because Smash Madge was a little out of line.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was this old Smash Match or? the
Yeah,
new
well,
one?
yeah.
no, I think it was brand new.
Oh, really?
It wasn't.
However,
Was it? I don't remember.
It
No, I think
wasn't
it was,
the one we had for deployment.
yeah, I think it was brand new.
It was the next
Oh.
one.
Turn the subtitles up.
Not the hey you. Not that one.
ugh.
Oh, that one.
So bad.
That one, the first time I ever heard him speak was like after everything. Because I'd never met him. I'd only been
Oh.
with 2-1 for like that 2 months and then deployment.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you remember George Washington?
Oh, God.
And I was like
Dude,
directly in front
that
of
was
him.
awesome.
So
And
bad.
I was like crying, laughing.
That's funny
'cause
because
it was just so
You know
funny
those-
to actually hear like everybody joke
Mhm.
about his voice and then to hear it
in
like,
person.
in person and like everybody was like spot on.
Mhm.
So I was just like holding it in, trying not to laugh directly in front of him.
It's true because remember you guys know those little Funko Pop, those action figures?
Yeah.
We went to LA, me and the wife, we made our own little Funko Pop at the big store. And then I was just walking around and I saw George Washington in a little Funko Pop. I bought it, and my point to buy it was to somehow sneak into his office and put it on his desk as a gift because he's leaving, a going away gift. But I never got around to doing it. And when I was packing up the house, I found it. I was like, oh my God, George Washington, you're still with me.
You should find his address and send it to him.
And fucking mail it to him.
Yeah.
What was the other one? It was like Saving Private Ryan.
No idea. There was the George Washington speech for NCOs and above, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was so bad. You know, the BC speaks and he's like, the All Blacks. And fucking,
Yep.
what was his, our first time, I can't remember. Right.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's talking about a Kiwi, New Zealand football team or whatever, rugby team. But he, you know, he's an officer. He's been through college. He's probably had to take speech classes. He goes through officer candidate school, has to, you know, present things. And, you know, you kind of follow essay format on how to give a speech, right? You got your subject, you kind of beat it around in the middle for 3 paragraphs, and then you come back at the end, you wrap it up with a point.
And it all ties into what you're
Right.
getting to.
And I've witnessed a few different times of people just word vomiting some like public speech, and that was
Sergeant Major.
And then also he's English second language for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That shouldn't matter. He's been in the Marine Corps for what, 1,000
Yeah,
years?
So that's
Still can't speak English?
that's the thing. Like, dude, you're in E9, you're expected to give speeches, and it's horrific.
Oh my God.
But besides the George Washington, because we were in like a closed room, any other time he spoke, I got nothing.
Yep.
Absolutely. It was a practice in meditation because I'm just like,
What
you
is
guys know I got my master's degree. Like, who the fuck? Who took your classes online, dude? Fucking bullshit, man. All right, so let's go from the beginning. I show up. Y'all had done.
Me and him were already together.
Y'all done FinX, the final operation,
ITX.
ITX,
Yeah.
for deployment,
Yeah.
during which it gets canceled, and y'all still have to finish
Yep.
whatever you're doing.
We're still out there.
Are you in weapons at this time? Or are you
No,
Echo?
so I'm
No.
in Echo.
Are you senior line of Echo or
No.
your GP?
Mhm.
And then the person of, I feel like it's a compounding reasons, but the senior line of weapons is like probably like this deployment's off. This is dumb. I don't want to do this anymore.
He was already trying to.
He was already
get out
trying
of
to
it.
go to
Yeah.
HNS.
Okay. So he leaves. You fill. You with all.
Who was that, by the way? Oh, okay.
I'll bleep it.
Okay. Yeah.
You did the whole workup.
Yep. Well, just ITX. There was a lot more, but
yeah. You show up. I show up, and then I don't know, maybe like a week later, you like float up.
I was
think.
like February 1.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
and
both of you came.
You and Stanfield, Security Clearance Podcast MVP. He loves it, dude. He's like, dude, I love that y'all keep calling me out. Y'all checked into like 1-1, right?
Yeah, so we went to 1-1 like that day. We'll walk in, meet the chief, and he's like, hey, nice to meet y'all. You're going to 2-1. And I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
And I end up meeting, HM1, who was the LPO at the time?
Coffee.
Yeah. Coffin. And he's like, hey, we're deploying in 2 months. You ready to go? And I'm like, sure.
Okay, so the deployment was back on.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
back on in February.
So this
at that time.
means it was after I got kicked out of CTM for COVID.
yeah, you were currently gone.
Yeah. A funny thing, I heard a funny story about. Have y'all ran into recently?
I've seen him a couple times.
Before I left, I said goodbye. That was about it.
Apparently, he has a full beard.
What?
That's what I heard. Apparently, he has a full beard, and he's like trying to sell Pelican cases that are from a
Certain BAS.
that are unaccounted for in other areas, I guess.
I didn't know.
Don't worry, I'll bleep his name on all of it, but
That's funny,
I'm not surprised.
it's a little shitty, dude.
bro. So
I'm not surprised.
that's probably because I talked to another HM1, very very vocal one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just say his name. I don't. Oh, the guy. Okay, yeah, we'll get back to him.
Anyways, I was talking to him about, and he was telling me how they denied his extension.
Uh-huh.
So now he has to get out
Yeah.
and retire. He was trying to do the 22, 23 years, whatever,
Yeah.
but they told him no. So now he's doing all the, TRS, TAPS, all the getting out shit you have to do.
So was he gonna hit 20 or
21, I think. 21 and some
that's
change.
not terrible. I mean, there's worse things to happen. I'm sure he'll get 100%.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
I was just looking at him as an example, not a good or bad, but just as an example. If Big Navy doesn't see diversity in your career, like he's been greenside his whole
He
career.
got in trouble a lot.
That too.
Yeah.
He got
If you
Just
look
don't
at
get
if you look at his evals,
Yeah.
like you can.
like
Well,
Chief Mess definitely does not like him.
I didn't.
The random plane ride.
Yeah. Okay. Was that a coup?
What?
no. The story I heard for that one was he was trying to go pin one of his sailors,
I know this story, but yeah, go ahead.
and his dumbass got caught, and next thing you know, his tail tucked between his legs coming back, like, hey, you no, and then they like, I don't know, true it is like they silent or whatever NJPM and just
Did
You're
they-
going here.
No, they
Nah.
just it was like a slap on the wrist. Like,
Okay.
hey,
Well-
you're getting stripped of LPO.
Yeah.
and then that was basically it. Which in a sense ruins a dude's
career.
career.
Right. Yeah.
He was MIA for like 12 hours, wasn't he?
I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
the side of the story I heard.
He told me I think he's a decent guy.
as a person, yeah, he's not
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
many conversations with him in private, and they were actually pretty helpful. But then, I think this is a symptom of the Navy. Like you talk to someone later, and they're just like flip the switch, bipolar on you, and you're just like, you just like sold me. You just sold me this car over in this room, and now we're over here, and you're just like, oh man, shouldn't have bought that car.
Yep.
It's like, but I think he's a decent dude. And he's told me some personal stories I won't repeat, but I heard a little murmur, and then he kind of told me, he's like, I might have got set up a little bit. I don't know exactly what the truth is there.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That like
They were trying to find a way.
I don't know if they're trying to find a way, but I think maybe he got approval. And then shit fell through, and like maybe someone didn't do their job and got him on the manifest.
And then they turned their backs on him. when
And
he got in
then
trouble.
finger pointing started, and everybody kind of said I didn't say that when they may have.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the rumor is it was a setup and they fucking they got rid of him.
Yep.
I don't know how much issues they had with him. Oh man, I'm sorry. I like the guy. I wish the best for him. Apparently he has a white beard like Santa Claus, and
I mean, he is almost 60.
yeah, that's crazy.
Is he that old?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super old.
He joined in his mid 30s.
It makes me, I don't know.
Around his age right now.
Yeah, joining.
Yeah, joining,
Joining.
not in, joining.
I mean, I was 27, so
Yeah.
I joined a little bit later.
The depressing thing about me is, well, my buddy, this kind of makes me feel good. But, all right, let me back up. Stay joined
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
08.
Okay.
Not fucking
Yeah, I was thinking-
snipers.
Yeah.
I had to
Gunnery
pause.
Sergeant Stay
Yeah.
joined in 08. I joined in 09.
You like that shit? Always. You like that shit?
He was cool once we got like eye to eye. And then so I joined in 09. He picked up Gunny, like he got selected on deployment. But my buddy, who was a Pogue that's now MARSOC, just told me he's picking up Gunny July 1st.
Your friend?
My peer.
Damn.
He pushed past us real quick because he's a Pogue.
Uh-huh.
And then he pushed past us even quicker because he got selected and is in MARSOC.
Mm-hmm.
But like Purple Heart, multiple combat deployments, and he's just now because
Picking
he's
up Gunny.
03, right? He's just now picking up Gunny. So it's like, But me,
That's such a long time ago.
I'm 9.5 years, dude.
Yeah.
9.5 years, July 7th.
And there's who picked up
What are you?
E5 and
E5
like
under
3.5
five.
E5 under
years.
five.
He's like, yeah, guys.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I think there's a faulty system that promotes some people that are they can't get good scores on the test. They don't actually have the right leadership abilities. They sell cupcakes and they stand out, or they're hot.
Horrible
They're
at their
hot-
job.
They're a hot female and they pick up.
So on that topic,
Oh.
she has explicitly.
Didn't say anyone's name.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
All right, say again.
She has explicitly said, "I use it to my advantage,"
Oh, okay.
and not a bad thing, but
Good on
it does
them. I
happen in
mean-
the Navy.
I was in a school with the person we're talking about, and she said it was unfair that everybody knew my name and my ass looks good in camis.
Mm-hmm.
She said it was unfair, but I mean, if someone's going to offer you $500 pay raise, are you going to say no?
Nope.
And you didn't have to suck someone's dick or do anything.
Nope.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, but. So I think the Navy's. I have to cut all of that, dude.
You don't.
No names were said.
No names were said. Gonna be my instructor here in a few weeks.
Are you actually going?
I should be, yeah.
Oh, really?
Heck yeah.
Anyway, push past it. I think the Navy's flawed in that I don't necessarily think the exam proves that you're a good leader.
Nope.
And also, I think that the MAPT program, the meritorious program, tends to promote people that are just having trouble with the exam and aren't as well good leaders just because they've been in for so long. But I think they chose right with you because I feel like you go home and just read pubs.
Dude, yeah. I mean, not really though. I just get lucky. I think my wife tells me this all the time. I'm like the luckiest dude she's ever met. Because I get lucky with the right leaders, the right people I connect with.
Right time.
Like picking up senior line. Like I wish I would have gone as a platoon corpsman on deployment.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not going to turn down that because I can know that I'm going to pick up after deployment.
Right.
Well, look at how he picked up HM3 after deployment.
Yeah.
Got bumped to sick call soup, which allowed him to study and do all those things, and then picked
do
up
college.
and picked up off the first time he took the test. Because of that, it's like all timing, like where you're at, luck.
And the only reason he got that grade of eval was because he was in that leadership position.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that though you may be young and though you're meritorious, I think you fit the billet of that leadership perfectly.
Yeah.
You educate yourself, you educate us, you know what the nav admin says. And if not, you find out. And I think that's just such a uncommon thing. It's just like, I was a HM3. I was about to get kicked out, and then they made me a HM2. And it's like, yeah, you kind of suck, dude. And just
alone the test is what, 40,000 possible questions. You get 175 on things that you don't even like. I think on the last test, it was the first time I've seen like actual like green side questions where it had to do with like TCCC and everything. But like before that, it was all dental and like things that we don't necessarily like are a part of throughout the like through our workday and everything. So it's like you're going in there and like trying to study before. If you're in the field, like you were in the field how many times before the test? Like pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Same with you.
They'll pull you from the field just to take the test.
Just to take the test, but to study for the test?
No.
Nothing. So you're going in blind most of the time, and then you're taking a test that like is like surge tech and X-ray tech, behavioral tech, and like dental, and you're like
instructions too.
Yeah.
Now, I've studied for the test a few different times, like diligently, and I've also been around, especially at my new command. They're very tight on the accountability, and I'm always around like HM2s. And these dudes do know a lot of, and you as well, know a lot of nav admin jargon about the AMOLs. And I remember that being on the test. And I remember seeing Chandler, Torres, and Holly be the supply admin, and that's something they have to know. And I know these guys have had to know those types of things. And then people, Ace and a few other dudes are telling me my overseas screeners are like 2808, and knowing these forms verbatim. And it is useful. Being able to identify dental caries and that stuff is useful, but it's bullshit because that's a whole rate.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it should be more specific to what we actually do and know in order to promote within. But essentially, you can speak to this. The more we don't become operators as we graduate the ranks, we become admin.
Yep.
In our job, in our billet criteria, it talks about like, oh, you're admin, you're managerial admin, you can run the admin portion of a medical tent, and then it keeps going, and then it's just like, oh, I believe like the definition is like, oh, you're a senior chief, you manage chiefs. You're master chief, you manage senior chiefs and chiefs, and you tell them what the fuck to do. But I did see something, and I've thought about this before. I went to the Corpsman Bash. You went to the Corpsman Bash?
Yep.
And the 1-star, I forget his name, came out and shook our hands. And it was first time I've ever seen him. Bolton, Master
CMC?
CMC.
Yeah.
He is hilarious.
Is he?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
But
He is so funny.
it sucks because there's no E10, right? And I'm sure they have many important decisions and things they deal with. But at certain times, when an officer says, we're going over there and we're going to go talk to those people, that E9 that has been in for so many years is an accessory to that officer. And he is their escort in order to maybe translate or give a little word after or say, hey, fix your sleeves. Hey, stand up when you're talking to him. And it's just like, man, how high of a rank, such a humbling thing to just be, hey, go get my coins. You know? And it's
that 4-star. I won't say his name, but on deployment.
Burger?
You can just Google
No, not Burger.
After deployment?
Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't a 4-star.
Lang?
Actually, no.
Fullbird?
That's Colonel.
Oh.
No.
I know. Hold on. I got you. In an undisclosed place.
Oh.
A
Yes.
man came out.
Okay.
Yes.
And I believe what you're about to say is he snapped at a major.
Yep.
To say, get my coins.
Yeah, it was an 05, or it was a 05. It was a lieutenant colonel.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was like, I need my coins.
Yeah.
Bruh.
And said person in undisclosed place had to run, get the coins, and then just hand them to him one by one.
As he was giving it to the.
And as he's giving it to people. And I'm like, wow.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
but
he'll pick up the next rank next year.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He
Yep.
will pick up the next.
who
rank.
was the goofball on deployment? The sergeant, super smart, but it was like Humphrey's like bitch. Love him.
Oh, unfree. Oh, yeah. Good old time. Yeah.
He became the Uber driver.
Yeah, he's the Uber
Guess what?
driver.
If he would stay in, guess what he's gonna pick up?
A staff sergeant.
Staff's,
Yeah.
like,
He would have easily picked up staff.
Did he get out? Do y'all know?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
out.
Oh, okay.
He's a rent-a-cop.
Is he really? He's
No
super.
way.
He's super
That's so
smart. That's an injustice to him.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean,
he was
I
super
think
cool
he's,
too.
He was.
I think
he's
he's
annoying,
in
but
school
cool.
to go back. But yeah, he's too smart for his own good.
Yeah.
Like,
One of
he
those.
should have never
people.
been. Yeah.
I remember before he even got that job, he had like gotten in a car accident like a couple months prior to.
And now you're
and then
gonna be
he's like
driving-
screening to drive.
That's funny.
And I'm like, dude, do they know about your history? And he's like, nope,
Nope.
they don't.
Fuck him.
I got a buddy. I just said this the other day. It's so weird how that works, but I have a buddy that got a DUI, and he's a full-on truck driver. And they asked him on his, like, have you ever, like, over and over again, they keep asking him on his screener, like, did you ever get a DUI? He's like, nope.
No.
He's like, just held to it. He's like, yeah, dude, fully, like, CDL, like, straight up truck driver.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, all right. Don't say too much about that. So, all right. I show up. Y'all at Finex.
Beginning.
You.
Just randomly sprinkled
Do you
in
remember
there.
you remember the first time we met, or like
It
kind of
was
our
on
first
the,
interaction?
we were going out to the field, I think.
Well, there was that, but there was the first time you were like super new, like day one or something. But you're also on duty, I think, or something.
Oh, yeah, they put me on duty.
And some dude came in. I just like kind of gave you a breakdown. You just like look at me like I know what I'm doing. I'm like, all right, well, fuck me then. And I just walk away.
That
I was
was
like,
the
this is
nervous-
the fucking new guy, man.
This is the nervous confidence.
Yeah, and you told me, you're like, yeah, just didn't want you to like give me a hard time, and so I kind of tried to like scare you off. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Didn't work.
Well, then I don't think I was ever mean to you.
No.
Then we go to I had to I get put on Advon to go on this little special mission. I'm like, all right, I'm going on leave. And then Rambo like calls me. He's like, hey, you need to cut your leave short. You need to go to the field to like shoot and do something else.
Yeah, they brought you weren't there.
You're on leave.
Nope.
Everybody's on leave because everybody did a whole workup.
He was supposed to be on Advon too, I believe at that time.
Was.
You had like a month of Advon. You somehow skirted out of.
I should have gone.
Did Red have like some special mission? Got
Yeah, Red
canned?
had their own mission.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't go in place of him, because
I was like the last draft pick to go.
he showed up 2 hours. Hey, pack your shit back up. You're leaving.
Yeah.
And
That's what it felt like to me.
switcheroo.
Yeah.
That
But I didn't go because we were supposed to have our own.
Yeah.
But never happened.
that field op though was funny because everybody got in trouble for not wanting to shoot. And I think that was the first time I was all excited because I was like, oh, I get to shoot the 50, the 240. So I was all gung ho about it. And you're like, yeah, I've done this. I was like, you want to shoot? And you're like, nah, I've done this once or twice. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so Stay was new. He was new to weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Every senior was out to a school.
Yep.
They brought in Lamb to
Oh, good.
Yeah, I found out about that.
Oh, to
Lamb
do
was,
the range?
I
Lamb
love
was
Lamb,
just
dude.
like, hey, I want to go
Yeah.
teach a little bit and like just go have fun.
They brought out Lamb, and who was a short 52 that was off in like Iraq or something for a while?
Collins.
Yeah.
They brought out like Collins and Lamb, and like Stay's new. It's like a blended. It's mostly red. Everyone's gone. All the corporals and sergeants are off like doing schools and shit. And it's a little bit of chaos, honestly. And like machine guns have so much SL3.
Oh, yeah.
And like Stay's trying to like get everyone to count it. It's taking forever. And one morning we wake up and we go off to do like a mall range or whatever. And then all of a sudden they're like, all right, the corpsmen are going to shoot. Where's I don't know. Like, where's I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm not in charge of anything. They left you on the side of the road.
Yep.
And just
Oh,
luckily,
that's funny.
luckily you were close to like, it wasn't a bad spot, but luckily you were close to Tyrone Biggins, the RO.
Oh,
What's his name? But you're next to Radio Watch and Road Guard, and so you just hung out with him the whole time.
Yeah, they took off without. Yep.
Yeah. But like we got out to do something. I think you took a piss, and like again, everyone's a boot,
yep.
and so they're just like, we're good, let's go. They didn't count their truck, they didn't count the corpsman, and just like took
Left.
off. And they're like, where's? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm not in charge of him.
I'm not his caretaker.
And yeah, we show up, and you're like, what the fuck, guys? It's like hours later, a whole day later, and like. Yeah, y'all took off. I was like waving. No one stopped.
Yeah, I ran after the truck, and I was like, "Yo!" And I was
this
like,
is first field up.
"I was like, all right, I guess they don't need me. Like, we're fine." I was like, oh, in the truck. I guess they just wanted me to stay up here.
Yeah.
That's fine. So I sat with, and
Yeah, they wanted me to shoot, and then they're like, "Oh, I guess you're the only corpsman." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna go sleep in the Vic." But we get back. I prepped for this when I'm getting my SL3. I'm getting it from the armor. It's like, what do y'all drink? Y'all drink you like Monsters, Red Bulls? You know, like beer? Like drink beer, like Monster.
Who is this at the time?
What's his name? You know,
Yoke dude?
yeah,
Brad?
Yeah.
Yep. Brad.
What's his last name? I forget. Old coats, old hats.
Psyops.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
They're like, yeah, we drink that stuff. I'm like, I'm coming back Friday. They're like, all right. And like old Corps, the armors would check my rifle to see if it's clean.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I've seen rifles thrown out of the window onto the ground because they handed it in wrong, all sorts of like hood rat shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking like, oh, like the armor is going to inspect Doc's rifle. And so I stage we get back to the tarmac, the grinder, put my shit down. I run to the exchange. I buy like 6-pack of like IPA and like 3 Monsters. Go grab my rifle, my nods. Run to the fucking armory. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Remember me? Like, yeah, what's up? I got you some beer and here's some Monsters. Dude, y'all enjoy. Here's my rifle and MVGs. I'm like, all right, cool. Later, Doc. Here's your cards. Peace. Boom. Get my car, drive off. I'm literally putting my kids down, like my newborn down for sleep, and my other son, and like you're blowing me up. You're like, yo, Staff Sergeant's pissed, dude. He said you need to be down here. I'm like, look, man, I'm like putting my kids down to sleep. I'll be there when I can.
Yeah.
And
He was freaking out at me. He's like, get his effing ass back here.
That's our stay at the time.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
because
was
of
like, you better get him back here. And I was like,
why was he so mad?
I don't.
the counts. It's
The
all about the
counts.
count. Because if
He-
one of the counts is off and a corpsman and one of their guys is away, oh, well, then he did it. Like the whole.
Remember before they came, Golf Company, and their missing thing where they had to search everyone's POVs?
Oh, while we're in 29 Palms?
Well, no, when we came back.
Oh, God, dude.
Yeah.
We had Coffin called everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. It was like Coffin, Chandler, and then maybe Ace at the time.
I think so. Yeah.
Because I was still in Echo, so we were down in
Yeah,
Margarito.
I was, you guys were far, far away from us.
Yeah, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But they lined up everyone's cars, all the barracks rooms. We stood out there for hours
Just searching
looking for
everyone's
this.
cars.
What was missing?
I don't even know.
203
A grenade
missing.
or the tube launcher.
The
Tube
two.
launcher.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's
Remember
some
hearing
just
about
Oh, which,
everything.
which actually we found out that was like 3 years ago.
Yep.
What?
So like the dude had already EAS'd.
Yeah.
They found it, quote unquote.
Oh, they found it 3 years like later.
No. Like while they were doing all the searches, they were like, "Oh, this was 3 years ago."
A
And
mistake from 3 years ago.
Yep.
A mistake from wow. I was on the 31st Mu, and we're like, we're gonna dock, and you're gonna get like libo tonight. We're like, dude, we're gonna get fucked up. This is be sick. We're literally on top of the boat. The sun is setting, and they're just like bitching at us, like, y'all pieces of shit. Whoever has these fucking MVGs, we're gonna fucking find it. You're fucking up everyone's libo, and just I'm a boot, and they're just making everyone feel like garbage, dude. And like we're waiting around for I think like 2 hours, maybe less, and then they're like, "Oh, counts are up. They miscounted." My bad, guys.
Yep.
You can go, but like you better not fuck up. You only have so many hours. And it's like, thanks, guy. I just went to my rack. It's just like I'm not risking it. Dude.
You ruined it.
I got a call 3 weeks into their deployment on this one.
Yeah.
From
Where are you?
I'm here.
I know, but like, hey, where are you?
No, they're like, where are your knots? And I was like, we traded them out with, I think it was either one of the 2 new corpsmen that's went in to stay, and they're like, the counts are off. Where are your nods? Do you have them? I was like, no. They're like, where are your cards? I'm like, we handed those in. I'm like, I don't have them. And they're hitting me up, and then said LT was the XO was hitting me up, and then he wouldn't answer for an hour. Then he'd text me and he'd be like, I still can't find them. We think you have them. Finally get a message like 8 hours later. Hey, the count was wrong. We got it right now. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Have a good one. I was like,
I hate that shit, dude.
I was like, what am I gonna do with these?
Hey, do you have a grenade?
Oh, that was the bet. We can go into that one.
Yeah.
I never heard this one.
I've been gone for a while.
Yeah.
A while. Has fully filled my shoes.
Is this yes in the undisclosed location?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fully integrated, and like randomly, I get like hit up by like I think Gunny, Weldon, and you.
Yeah, they were asking me about it.
They're like,
You have a grenade.
Gunny, texting me.
You mean first sergeant?
First sergeant Gunny. Yeah.
Gunner.
Gunner. First sergeant.
Yeah.
Texted me like, hey, you wouldn't happen to have a certain something you wouldn't round thing. He was very discreet. You're not supposed to.
They were trying to hide it.
Supposed to text it.
And I was just like, you're gonna have to be more specific. I don't know what you're
talking about.
And then like Weldon and Weldon's like, you have a grenade? I'm like, no. What do you? Why? I fucking hate grenades. That's why I gave my grenade away. He said you did. I'm like,
Oh my.
Fuck. That piece of shit.
No, how that got brought up, we were sitting at another undisclosed location, and I was sitting on the truck, and we get a text, and it was like, hey, the grenade counts are off. And then they look at me, they're like, where's yours? I was like, I was supposed to have one? Like, I'd been there for, I think, 2 months at the time.
You never gave me one.
I was like, I never got one. And I was like, that was probably the smartest thing you guys could have ever done was not give me one, because
Smart.
and then I forget who said it. Somebody goes, did give you yours? And I was like, no, I never got one. It ended up being LT. I think you gave it to the LT.
Yeah, I didn't want it. I don't like grenades.
But they weren't. LT was with us, and Gunny was doing the counts, and that never they never counted correctly. Yeah. So and then somehow you texted me, and you're like, keep my name out your effing mouth. And I was like, I did not say a single word about you having it back.
I think I knowingly knew you didn't say anything, but I was fucking with you. And because of all the money you were making, I was just like, fuck you. Don't you fucking say shit about me.
Yeah, I still don't know how I was the one picked.
Because they didn't want to let him go, and they didn't like Gonzo.
Okay. And then they wanted Jones.
No.
Yes. Chief wanted Jones.
Yeah.
So
I was never in the loop on this at all.
That's so weird.
I found out the day he was leaving.
I was so pissed. Like, I found out the day.
Why was I not?
So pissed, dude.
When I first got there and they were like, hey, it's going with this Advon, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That'd be pretty cool to go to. But that makes sense. Prior Marine, machine gunner.
He has experience.
I am kind of a retard. I don't know if you can do that, but I was like, I'd been an admin guy in flight medicine in Corpus Christi for 2 years.
Yeah.
Hadn't done any type of medicine, as would know.
Dude, we did a couple runs before deployment. It was hilarious.
It was pretty rough. I hadn't gone to CTM, so and now they're like, hey, you're going. We're not telling you where. And I'm like,
yeah, I wasn't helping either. And he gets off the plane with all his shit when I'm walking onto the plane, he's getting off. I'm just like, fuck you.
I love that story.
And he goes, F you. I was like, what did I do?
It's your fault. You know what the kicker is? Fully cleared.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fully cleared clearance.
We have to blame that S1
The
who
day.
randomly looked.
You know what happened? I know what happened. I get to whatever fucking place we staged at, the first country in Kuwait or city in Kuwait, and we're doing all our switching over, getting our pay sorted, all our admin shit. And they're like, hey, Doc, you're not gained to us. You're still at like your old whatever the hell. You need to go figure that out. You need to call them during U.S. time because it's like crazy time difference. So I had to go to the CP and like leave my cell phone and do all this shit, like make a phone call, secure line, have the duty. And I think like Ren was with me. And yeah. And they're like, oh, we see right here. Yep, you've left. Yep, you're there. Okay. And so my package, wherever it was in Lingo or was it finished, was held at my last command. There's no communication with 2-1 yet. And so whatever, I think it had been completed, and by the time they all show up and like check their emails, which had been like a few weeks, they're like, oh, this dude's clearance is bad and he's in a place he needs a clearance for. And like, dude, I'm literally like talking to agents. I'm like, can you just like fix this? And they're like, I wish we could, man. I'm like, okay. I'm going to, $108 a day?
Yeah.
But I don't understand how they don't see that as soon as you check in to S2.
I don't know either.
They don't do their job.
Yeah, probably. Because I went to
Or
meetings.
that's who it was, not S1,
I went to a
S2.
meeting at S2.
Yeah.
I signed in. I remember multiple times going to S2. And every time I preface like, hey, is my clearance done yet? Because I'm sketched out about it.
And they're like, oh, no, you're good, dude.
No, nothing. You're good.
It's always that you should be good.
You should be good. Yeah. Hey, go on leave. Gunderson will sign your leave eventually.
You should be
You
good.
should be good. If not, we'll fry you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
UA, NJP.
Dude, do you remember your 2 weeks of free leave?
You mean his 6 weeks?
My all the time?
I don't remember the 6 weeks.
Mason was
I
the
didn't hear
golden
about that.
child of CAAT.
Oh my god.
No.
Let's-
Yes,
No, you were, because
Oh
you
my
are
God, dude.
100% the golden child.
The way you spoke, because you screenshotted your leaders chat in CAT, and you're like, that motherfucker, like talking about the sergeant major. And I know it's fucking Captain Rod and First Sergeant, like fucking awesome people.
Oh, dude, they're the
Dude,
best.
They were
when
the best.
I was in my leaders chat of golf, it was dry as a bone, dude. There was
Not in weapons.
There was, yeah, y'all were fucking ghetto with that shit.
Well, so there were two chats, right?
Yep.
There was like the official where like everyone was
Professional.
yeah. And the second one that was like all just memes.
Ghetto.
But it was all the same leaders.
It's the same people.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think maybe one or two very high leaders were not included.
Yeah.
But
It was all like the platoon sergeants.
yeah.
It was-
But either way, it was pretty goddamn ghetto in those group chats. And
It-
I
it
do
always
miss that.
is.
This man walked around in his whoopee for an entire day, just roaming throughout the CP, over to the BAS, the RAS. Nobody said a single word to
Not
him.
surprised.
I was so impressed.
I used to do shit like that.
I couldn't get away with it.
I did it for 2.5 years until we got a new first sergeant.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And that's when everything
Yeah.
just went.
for
oh,
sure.
dude, Wright was so cool.
I was.
I still couldn't
Yeah.
believe he couldn't
Dude,
pick
him
up.
and Rod like coming into the like senior line position was amazing.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
How was,
remember
how was
seeing-
your XO though?
Yeah, we won't talk about that one.
I mean,
I think-
I
I think
was lucky because I had Rod, like as he was leaving,
And then you got Bobby B.
and then I got Bobby B. So it was like, I got two great leaders
Bobby B was
back to
pretty
back.
hood, dude.
Like he was
He
really yeah. Like, what's up, Doc? Slap in the face. I'm like, oh, what's up, sir? Hug.
Oh, Bobby B. Yeah, he's cool.
I remember seeing, I think First Sergeant Wright was right before I left, and he was giving me like a moto speech. And he's like, Doc, why are you so white?
He was so serious but so goofy at the same time.
Bro, speaking of first sergeant, did you see just recently the post for Vargas getting retired? Young posted it. It was a young.
Oh yeah.
He put a post. Bro, First Sergeant Wright has a full ass beard. He has hair again. I'm just like,
You got the hair transplant, huh?
He went to
he went to Turkey.
He went to Turkey.
No, I don't know, but yeah, I was like, damn, they all look good. They look happy. First Sergeant has hair. He actually has hair. He's not Mr. Clean.
What was his side gig that he did? He was like
Security for, like,
Security.
Kardashians
He's
and
like a
shit.
Yeah.
fucking bouncer for
No,
rich. Well, yeah, security for rich people.
someone said he was literally security for the Kardashians, and they would be in their backyard smoking weed, and the doorbell would ring, and I forget his first, Corey, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But Corey, can you go check up Miss whatever, Chloe, whatever the fuck their names are?
Whichever one it was
Yeah,
at the
and
time.
he'd like go down and let him in. And then I remember at Rambo's reenlistment, I don't know if you went,
No.
but it was at some pub, and got in trouble for having a nose ring.
The bull
Yeah.
Bull ring.
Yeah.
He drove through the front gate. And then I think I asked him something about, like, you do security? He's like, yeah. I'm like, how the hell does that work in Los Angeles? I was like, you packing? He's like, I'm always packing, dog. I'm like, through the gate? He's like, you can't keep me from my shit. I was just like, all right. He's like,
Dude, that's a scary man, dude.
yeah,
would
I mean,
you
even
wanna
just
mess with
even
him?
just looking at him, like you're,
so that dude rolls through the front gate, and they were doing random car searches the other day, right? So he rolls through the gate. He's a first sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
He's massive. I don't know what kind of car he drives. Probably something cool.
He drove a black Lincoln MKS.
That's pretty cool.
or something.
Yep. Pretty cool.
Yeah, checks out. And some Lance Corporal's like, we're gonna check his vehicle. And be like, hey, dog, nah. And I feel like their response be like, all right, no, we gotta wave him off. We gotta get the next one. Because like he is a first sergeant, he could be like, I don't know how those vehicle searches work, but like, dude, if you search my car, I'm gonna be late and I'm gonna be pissed. And like I'm gonna fucking call somebody.
He's like, you're fucking with my time.
Right. I get mad. You don't live on base, right?
No.
You used to.
I still do.
Kind of.
Kind of.
We live in the same on the same street. It's kind of bullshit. I gotta go through fucking TSA to get to my house.
Yeah.
yeah. That's
I get kinda
that's why-
mad,
That's
dude.
why I'm so excited to live off base in Texas. Like
Well,
I
it's
cannot
gonna be
wait.
great.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Minus the drive, it is pretty nice.
I don't think you have much of a drive, do you?
No, 30 minutes.
Oh, for me, it's 45, 50.
Apparently, it's a lot because of traffic, but I call bullshit.
Well, you're going to be there
hours
early in the morning.
morning, no traffic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
San Antonio's
Going
not,
home, traffic.
Yeah. That
I don't know, dude. San Antonio's not super bad. I mean,
From Fort Sam,
I don't like the highways.
it's bad. The highways.
they're building them though, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
In a few years, they should be good, and
They've
they're also
been building them since before I
they were
joined.
opening up.
No, it's
Bitch.
been in construction.
I am from there.
I have a
live
house
there.
there. I go there often.
I lived there since 2008.
When's the last time you've been there?
This year.
This year.
Yeah. I went home on leave. Yeah.
Was that legal leave or?
Yes, motherfucker. I was in red, so everything I had to do was legal.
I was last there
No
at
ghetto
Christmas, and while I was there, they were opening up from the main vein from my house to the airport. They had
San Marcos?
opened up. Yeah, pretty much. They had opened up. They started opening shit up.
Okay, well,
That's the way construction works. Eventually, it's over.
yeah, I guess. I'm speaking of like the 35 and the 10.
Give a
And
shit about those
all
poor
that
people
shit.
roads, dude.
What's worse though, California traffic or Texas traffic?
California, 100%.
dude.
Usually
yeah.
pretty lucky with California traffic.
On the way here, there was like a
Today?
random stop.
Yeah.
There's no good reason, so my timeline went from like, hey, you'll be there at 8:30 to you will be like going to your house at 9:45. I'm like, oh, how did that?
Hey,
like,
how does Border Patrol work?
I don't know. They just sit there.
I see, like, oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4
They profile.
It's like, what are they
hard.
That's what
looking
I'm
at?
They
It's just like-
profile hard.
shitty car, Mexican, pull them over. Just like, how does that
Work
work,
truck,
dude?
pulled over.
They followed me one time because I have Texas plates,
But you're white.
but then they pulled up next to me, like
Yeah.
saw me, and then they just pulled back and then pulled off. And I was like, oh, thank God. I didn't have anything, but I was
Yeah.
like,
From here to work, I go through the checkpoint. And when I was still in 2-1, I roll through it and they're like stopping people. And both times they see me in like a skivvy shirt. And they're like, before I can even like show them anything, they're like, you're good, good.
Yeah.
You're fucking good.
You're
on.
white.
All right, white guy.
Come on, white guy.
White guy in uniform.
They wait till I get right up next to them. Are you American? Yes. The fuck?
well, if on Pendleton, it's like you drive on, they just check the person's ID real quick, the driver's. They look at it and they're like, all right, you're good. What they say
Yep.
to us, have a great day, Devil
Oh.
Dolphins.
You devil dolphins have a great day.
Yeah,
Dude, the guys at the Santa Gate suck.
they're
If you go on to
They're
Miramar,
such
though,
tools, bro.
Yeah.
Miramar checks every single person's ID
In the car?
in the car.
Yep.
And it's like, They are strict. Then you come on Pendleton, you like flash it real quick.
You're
Like,
just
see ya.
All right, you're good.
That's because we have FAPs. We have fucking grunts and pogues that's not their job.
Yes.
And then you'll see a dude with like a badge and he's all serious and shit.
That's their job.
That's their job. And those are the guys they were pulling car. They pulled the car, 2 cars behind me yesterday. But my wife's pregnant. I had 2 kids in the car. And I was like, dude, I'm sitting there. I'm like playing my battle in my head. I'm just like,
fucking pull me over.
yeah, pull me over, bitch, dude. Pull me over with a pregnant fucking wife and 2 kids and see how much I'll hit you and then I'll get in trouble. But like, no, you're not searching my fucking car. Yeah, they're super serious. But then we pulled up yesterday and there's 3 of them standing there and they're like, good evening, all in unison. I was like, Jesus Christ. That's pretty good, but kind of annoying. They're just bored. Yeah. I see all our fucking
Well, how you tell the difference is faded camis or not faded?
faded camis, and then like how much
big fat badge.
Yeah, how much shit they're wearing. If they like minimal shit, means they don't really give a shit.
Yep.
Well, it was nice when all of those guys went out to PMO.
Yeah.
Did you get all the updates?
Like,
and,
and the group chats.
Yep.
Yep.
It's definitely useful.
Did First Sergeant ever yell at you when you were in charge?
So one time before I became in
Yes.
charge,
Perfect.
because it was concerning leave.
Shocker there.
So I didn't turn in the paperwork because, you get the Marines to sign it, and then
You're the reason why we have to do paper chits
that's
now.
a proof. No.
Yes.
I used to get
it was-
away
No,
with.
no.
Oh, go ahead.
I used to get away with that too.
Yeah.
I used to always
yeah.
turn my shit in, and Ace would be like, "You need to blah 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 blah." I'm like, "What? What is this about?" He's like, "It's the way it's always supposed to be done." And then I'll come back. And I was like, hoteling. He's like, "My gunny said that shit's gay, and he's not fucking signing anything." He's just like, oh,
Okay.
"All right,
Whatever.
And so
Okay.
ever from that point,
As long as the Marines are tracking.
it would be like some sort of formation. And be like, what, your gunny say it's gay and you don't have to go? I'm like, no, he just didn't tell me what was going on. But what are we doing? It's like, we have a battalion formation. I'm like, all right.
That's fucking funny. But yeah, no, fucking, I came to his office late with a paper chit that started like the next day for my leave.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like that.
Yeah, he's like, yo, Doc, what the fuck? Like, most serious. And, you can feel his voice. You can hear it and you can feel it. And I was just so scared at that one point. I was like, yes, First Sergeant. No, First Sergeant. Good to go, First Sergeant. And then he's like, don't let this happen again.
Yeah, dude, if you just eat it with him, like, pause. If you just let him like lose his shit, and you're just like, okay, yes, perfect, he'll be like, okay.
Yep.
Because the only time he ever yelled at me was that after action report. When you were there, because you gave all their little good idea fairies. They like all got excited.
Yeah.
Because
What are we
You were
talking
the reason
about?
we did the after action.
We are
report.
the reason. I remember that. I asked the BC, what are we going to do to fucking.
After action.
Yeah,
That was
I
because
thought
of you.
No, I thought that was before.
No.
Oh,
So
was
that was the thing.
Because
We didn't do anything.
back in the day,
Yeah.
that's what you guys do.
After patrol.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
saying and be like, all right, what happened? What did we see?
Exactly.
Little powwow.
And we didn't after
We-
what?
Yeah.
It took, 3 weeks?
Yeah,
took
after
a
we
while.
got back, when the BC showed up, they're like, I need whatever many questions. I'm like, all right. I'm usually pretty good at asking questions, but people get pissed off. I was like, what are we going to take from this situation in order to change ROEs in the future? And he's like, well, we're going to take your after actions and apply that. I'm like, all right. And then they're like, yo, make sure that fucking
Make sure that gets done.
make sure that chirpy ass doc gets invited to this shit. He's the reason we're here. But I don't really. I just remember that one staff sergeant like talking for 15 minutes and kind of like, "Woe is me." Anyway,
But yeah, so I was supposed to go to that.
you didn't go.
No.
Oh,
Because they sounded in the chat. It sounded like it was all the hire with the battalion XO. So I was like, well, I'm not going to that.
Yeah.
But it was all weapons dudes.
Yep.
And so First Sergeant's calling me. I'm like studying with my little FMF book with fucking
Where the
Rossetti.
fuck are you?
Yeah, he's like, where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm in blah blah blah's room. Like, do you need me? He's like, yes, now. I was like, okay. As soon as I get there, he's like, what the fuck? You're supposed to fucking represent the corpsman? And I'm like, nah.
Oh no, what did I do?
Please hurt me. And like, this is before like he's like, yeah. But I was terrified. I
Yeah.
was like, fuck.
Yeah, every time. Like,
Yep.
And so that whole after action report, I was like, this is fucking stupid.
I believe I met his wife, who's a Navy chief.
Really?
She is over in the Del Mar area. We have to like
She
when we
just
check
jacked
in.
and bald.
She
Yes.
was
Yes.
What?
Oh,
She
I met her in
jacked.
command
they
in
are a
dock.
jacked
Yeah.
family.
All right, hold
Yeah.
on. Let's.
I don't know about bald.
She's not bald. No.
Okay.
We
can't talk
She got-
over each other though.
She got blonde hair. But yeah, I remember
She
she's
white
like,
lady?
yeah.
What?
Yep.
Oh man.
And she's like, where are you going? I was like, 2-1. She goes, do you know where? I was like, weapons. And she's like, oh, my husband is the nicest man in the world. And she's like, that's him. And I was like, oh shit. And I walk in and he just like towering. He's like, Doc, nice to meet you. And I was like, nice to meet you too, First Sergeant. Because I was still trying to figure out the ranks of the Marine Corps again and everything. I was scared shitless walking into his office. I'm like, I'm going to die here.
Bro, that's not how I met him. When I met him,
Again, you're the golden child of weapons.
no. No, mine was
I
different.
still don't know why.
I don't know either. But
Do
when
you
I
know
It's
why?
his confidence. He
Is
just
it?
walks in and he acts like he's got the biggest dick in the world. And they're just like, oh,
it's
doctor.
obviously not.
I don't know. It was, dude. I'm sorry to interrupt
No, you're good.
when you've met First Sergeant, but dude, I remember you kind of being like, not a shitbag, but doing just like all these like super like dock things, like corpsman things. Like you're like, oh, got my tent. Or not your tent, got my hammock. I need to set
brought
like
his hammock.
first thing, 9 o'clock in the morning. You're like setting up your hammock. You're not doing any training with the dudes. You're chilling. You're in the back of the Vic. You and Gonzo don't shoot. Like all this shit. I'm like, and they love you. I'm like, what
Dude,
the
I
fuck
don't
is
get it.
going on?
Do you remember ITX?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm in Echo. We do this is probably like 3-mile movement to this mount town. We go through the mount town. I'm like drenched in sweat, of course, because it's fucking 100
Because they're
degrees.
hiking.
I know this one.
Dude, and he's like, Benson. Comes in, AC, the fucking anime with his phone is on, dummy cord to do it. He's got Crocs on, no boots.
You have your hammock up, right?
No, this is in the
he's
truck.
in the
I know,
truck.
but you didn't have your hammock in the truck?
Oh, I had it, but not set up in the
okay.
truck.
Dude, I was like, you piece of shit. Dude.
Yeah.
You definitely got the lucky gig.
We pull up, CAAT pulls up for the security. Boop, boop, boop. And then here comes Echo, about to raid the mount town. And I look out my little window. Oh, that's Benson. Open the door. Open the door. I was like, oh, it's hot. Benson, come here. Come here, feel this.
This man hiking, going across the tarmac
Bro, that was
at
bad.
HKIA. He comes out, he's got his backpack, he's got his med bag, and he's got his rifle. By the time we hit the opposite side of the tarmac, this man had his
I only had my med bag.
he had his
really?
med bag.
Oh,
That's it.
Somebody
that
grabbed his
wasn't-
rifle for him. And he had like everything just like over his head at first.
Yeah.
And he was just like hurting. We walked maybe like a half a mile.
Yeah.
That was not half a mile, motherfucker.
All right, fuck. I don't want to get too off track, but the two movements I fear the most, and it's just like PTSD from being a boot. It's called like a boot drag, right? You show up to a command, you're in your fucking dress uniform, and they're like, grab your fucking sea bags.
Where is this at?
Anywhere.
Oh.
It's called a boot drag. Grab your fucking gear, your sea bags. It's usually like 2 sea bags.
Oh, is this Marine Corps?
Yeah, you're in your like pickle suit, and you're just like, grab your shit, let's go. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 2. So it's either like one each arm, maybe it's one on the back, one holding, whatever it is. And they could even be dicks, but like, you don't fucking hold a fucking bag like that in that uniform. So you can't hug it. You have to carry one. So it's called boot drag, and you're just like going to the company office first to check in. 29 palms. You fucking drag your shit over there. All right, you need to go check in here. You fucking drag your shit over there.
Yeah, damn.
And then you're at the barracks. Oh, you need to go back. Oh, you're going to just leave your shit there? If you do, it's going to get fucking rifled through and stolen. Or you have to take it all the way. So it's called a boot drag. And the plane, we land, get off, boot drag, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
We
my
have
goodness.
a full sea bag,
Not this
flak,
man.
Kevlar, and my med bag, right? My med bag was thick,
When
boy.
we get to HKIA, yeah.
And I think I'm holding like some fucking something, I don't know, some equipment for the Marines, right? And we're going, and it's always like such a relief when I see someone like, oh, that bitch is falling out. Like, okay, Doc keeps in front of the few fallouts, like I'm good. And of course it's a boot drag. We're going from like building to building. No, we're supposed to be here. And we're here. I'm just like dreading it, but I know this is how this works. And then the next one, it was the same thing. All right, Cat Red has been at the gate for so long. We're going to relieve them. Bring enough for 72 hours. Like, oh, fuck. So like main pack, med bag on top.
Shit was
I think I had some, and wait here at the tarmac. I'm using the tarmac for the first time correctly. And we're waiting, and some Air Force dude's like, all right, now go. And we're like, oh, fuck. And so we're running across the tarmac to get to the other side.
So you don't get run over.
So we don't get run over by C-130. And it's fucking middle of the afternoon, scorching heat. And it's just like, oh, shit. But luckily I made it, and I didn't have to give my shit up. But that was rough. And I remember coming back, some reason, because I knew the path we were going to go, it was so much easier. I don't know.
This man getting off the plane.
Everyone got off the plane, right? Weapons got off first, blah, 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 blah. Stay gets off last. I'm just now getting off with Stay. And Stay is like gone. Because, those dudes can move.
Yeah.
I'm over here dragging my med bag, dragging my salt pack. I have everything that was issued to us in my main pack. And I'm just like, please, help. Someone help. And then when we walk behind the C-130, I just get blown all, like, half a mile down that way. I'm just like, oh, my God. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Didn't you get a ride?
Yeah, I got lucky. These army dudes came up in a gator, whatever. Hey, you guys need help? Yes, please. I need help.
I'm running. I fell on that little run or like fast move coming off of Goober. Coming off of, or I was stepping down off the side of the curve, and I just eat it. Rifle hits first, and I'm like, I hope nobody saw that. And it was just like.
No one did that I remember. I don't remember that.
Get up quick. It was like, move fast. I was like, oh, God. I was like, I hope I didn't break the rifle. I was just like, this is bad.
All right, it'll buff. And then you were with
81s.
Who got pulled from 81s?
Yeah, got sent home for a family issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't have gone anyway because of COVID.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
That's I thought about this randomly one day. Like, it could be like a news article or something. Or, right-wing media, be like, everyone that died in HKIA was fully vaccinated. And it's like, it's a true fact. Yeah. It was just, and it's such an arbitrary thing with the amount of people that just fucking coughed on us and fucking we dealt with.
Dude,
like
this insane amount.
This does not matter that we're vaccinated. And it was truly a struggle for Cat Blue because like most of our corporals weren't. And so it was Weldon, who should have been a staff sergeant, who was acting in a staff sergeant or Gunny's capacity as platoon sergeant because Gunny got the boot because of Advon. And then sergeants and then lance corporals. And there was like a few like motor T mechanic corporals, but they weren't like super gelled. And, they're not infantry. And so you can't
really tell them what to do.
Right. It was the big motherfucker. What was his name?
Mendoza?
No.
Lewis?
Is it Lewis? The big Mormon dude?
White dude?
Yeah.
There? I think it was
Lewis. 6'4", massive. And then Segura, our little mech.
Yep.
We had, I think he picked up sergeant quickly after, like radio operator.
Pazorski.
Yeah, he was out there. But then we had
good old Ryan.
Yeah, we had a couple pogues attached to us. But dude, shit got a little thick, right? Shit started getting a little hairier. And those pogues, dude, they're just like, no, we're gonna stick back with shop integrity and hang back on this one. We're just like, all right, man, like you fucking bitch. I mean, we had a, I think he was a captain. Maybe he's a silver bar that just like broke down within 24 hours. It's like, I can't do this anymore. Oh,
I didn't hear about that one. No.
The fuck is this guy?
He was Was
he a part of weapons?
He was.
I would hope not.
Integrated into. He was like he was an officer that came over.
So I think
he like
starts with a Z.
I think so.
Yep.
Yes.
There it is.
Yep. Whatever.
I'll bleep that name out.
So I saw him at the PX. He's a captain. You're right.
Yeah, he gave up, man. He like 24 hours in. Y'all done 72 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 24 hours in, it's like 12 o'clock, or maybe 12 hours in, it's like 12 o'clock at night, and he's just like,
Mm-hmm.
And like I walk up, and it was after a brief where this is where he gave up. The brief was, we'll forcibly move these people from the area if we have to.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I am not doing that. And Rambo's like, I'll do it. Yeah, just tell me what to do.
I'll do it.
And then like I
love
walk
Rambo.
up, and they're like, yo, Doc, you want to help us like fucking rip these people out of here? I'm like, just tell me what to do. And they're like, see, Doc's with us. Like took his Kevlar off and like walked over to the corner and just
To go cry.
literally. Yeah, it was a little sad, man. So I don't know. Anyway, you have a story about said officer?
The only story I have was when the day after, so the 27th, and he's got like hives everywhere. His face is like a fucking balloon, and it's brought over by, I think, Jefferson and Rod, and they're just making fun of him like crazy. It is so fucking funny. And I let the second class, who's with the STP, deal with him, but he like gave him Benadryl and IV, but he's just like, big balloon face. He's like, I can't feel my face. I need help. I don't know what the fuck this dude did, but it was hilarious.
He probably stressed himself out so much that he broke out in hives.
Yeah, that's a thing,
Probably,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Stress
Yeah.
hives.
So it's also a herpes thing too. Yes. So
The more you know.
eczema, hives, and then herpes.
Eczema, yes.
But herpes, the reason it is it lies dormant in your body on your spinal cord. And if you overload your central nervous system with stress or something, it can trigger a flare up.
Some shit like that, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Never
it's
did that.
gnarly.
I just love the fact that Rod and Jefferson were just ripping
just
on
dogging
him.
him.
Yeah, they,
Well,
they love making fun of him.
he was also one of the people that showed up during our COVID screener on deployment towards the end.
And he popped.
But he was like, I ain't got time for this shit. And we're like, oh, I mean, you're a fucking officer. What the fuck am I gonna tell you to do? And he does this swab and like pieces out. And then we're like going through everything like, yo, who is this? And like we couldn't get in touch with him. And then again, people are just like, that stupid bitch. And they fucking, it was still like 14 days quarantine.
Yep.
And I think he was like, had to go to PSAP or I don't know what it was. But they just like locked him somewhere. And he fucking couldn't do shit for 2 weeks. Like, I don't know, dude.
That's fucking
Yeah, he was the
Fun.
only person that
To
popped.
pop.
Well, to be fair, I was just like, dude, you trying to get fucking quarantined? Yeah. Fucking idiot trying to like, well, I'm talking about like this overseas screener. Like, look, we're not trying to get addressed that our kid needs speech therapy right this second. Like, just
I just
fucking-
need a signature.
I just need a signature.
Just
And
sign
so
this.
like, yep, go ahead.
That's
You're good. I'm like, yeah, dude, we all probably got some sort of disease that's going to pop
Yep.
for COVID. And
Yep.
he's being an officer and like doing his diligence. Hilarious. He was one of the people I ran into. We were going to do some training op out in the fucking desert. And he was kind of talking like how prisoners talk. Like me, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get a TV. I'm trying to hook my switch up to it. I'm trying to be comfortable. For as long as I'm here, I want to be comfortable. And he's like, oh, no. I have a balled up hoodie and no sheets, and I don't even have a mattress. I sleep on the floor.
I'm fucking tough.
Yeah, and he's like, what other times would I have the opportunity to do this and live like this? And one of those people that I'm not shaming anyone that wants to shoot rifles, but the guy that's like really into it at this rifle range we're going to do 1 million of, right? Yeah, when other times am I going to be in the field? Like, that's because you're a pogue officer bitch and you don't go to the fucking field. This is every day for me. I want to be comfortable. I want to be cold. I want to be, I don't want to sweat in the scorching sun. And then he's one of the people that are just like red because they don't know how to fucking put sunscreen on the field. And like, oh, this is how we do it. We're men. And you're just like, all right, buddy.
That's not how
That
you
was
do
my
it.
first field op.
That was my first impression of old.
That was I didn't know. I brought out like everything that was like anything gear issued. I was like, yep, I got to bring this. This is all I'm bringing. And then this man's over here rocking a hammock with a pillow and his own blanket.
I live comfy.
Yeah. I learned that after a while.
That was pre-deployment, and they're like, "You're going to weapon, or where do you want to go?" I was like coughing a few other people, and they're like, "Weapons really wants you." It's like I don't really know.
Weapons didn't even know you existed.
Yeah, but this is what I'm being told, and like I don't know, dude. I'm from the old school. I used to carry a 240 in the line platoons. Like I'm a grunt. I don't know about this whole vehicle
Weapons company.
Yeah, what weapon does this vehicle shit? It was like Brinkley and Chandler, and they're like, "Close the door." I'm like, "All right," I'll close the door and like, "Look, dude, like, you've done this. You've been here. You seem like a good dude. Weapons is the way to go. It's the good life. It's like we're not sending the fat bodies that showed up with you to weapons because they're not gonna fucking."
That was me.
No, you're a fucking PT stud.
Nah.
Back then, not.
Not then.
Well, I was fat.
He tried so hard to come too.
Yeah, but they weren't gonna reward a fat person.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
going to a place where you don't hike at all.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I was like, all right, yeah, I guess I'll fucking go. Dude, it was such a weird thing. And I had a little bit of like, because I'm kind of a new corpsman, I was given a med bag and I brought everything. And they would be like, "Doc, we're going on a boots and utes run. Bring a med bag." And I had the entire thing, besides the marshmallow. I'm like falling out. I would have probably fallen out anyway, but I didn't really know until basically after HKIA, like talking to Sanchez, just like, "Oh, well, think intuitively about what you have. I'm a sniper. I need to run light, so I need to be very precise about the equipment I bring with me." He's like, "You're a truck guy. You can bring everything, but like, is that really useful? Maybe you need to boil that down." I was like, I didn't even think like that.
Yeah, it was awesome when you brought that up during the
Sorry,
medical after action.
Sorry,
and then
buddy.
Coffin immediately goes, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm honest to a fault sometimes. I didn't know.
It's a good thing.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was dragging you down into. I think you recovered though.
Yeah, that was fun.
How did I get put in weapons?
I requested for you because you were an HN.
Oh.
I didn't know you as a person. I was like, I just want an HN because we were all thirds.
Oh, really?
Except me.
No,
You were a
you
third.
picked up.
You
He
picked
picked
up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it was.
We picked up together.
Yeah, it was all thirds.
Yeah. You were already supposed to be.
Yeah, you got your NAM.
My transfer EP and a NAM.
Yeah,
That's what pushed me over when the results came out.
yeah. Well, that's how they fucked over when he was LPO. Fucked over Parker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Parker was like fraction of a way and point away from picking up HM3 on the automatic whatever.
Yep.
And he had a NAM that wasn't accounted for or something like that.
Is this like before he got out, like the fall one? So he did pick up, and he didn't get it because he didn't get his pin.
SP.
And that's they were all losing their minds because like, oh well, he'll get it when he gets close to it, and we'll just like forget about it. And I was like, I don't think you guys are tracking this. But
Horrible leadership.
yeah, what? Yeah,
On that part.
and you can only try so hard with those dudes.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
So he was selected, but his selection came out after his SP. So he had an SP first, and then selection came out that he was, I think, might have been the story.
yeah, so he took the test and then got the SP. I think like right after taking the test.
Right, and so
then results came out, and he already had that SP on his record.
yeah, and they didn't want to help him out.
Basically,
This is the story.
Yeah,
I got.
even though he was already getting out.
Yeah, but I'm actually putting together a knife for him, a gift, because I want to put together something for him and Sankey, because it's like two dudes.
Sankey.
Chill out, dude.
I love Sankey. I went to field med with Sankey.
Those are two dudes I think that like did a good job, and even till like the very end, dude. Like Parker got whored out.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yes.
Up until the
Dude.
end, and like just a
got-
silent goodbye later,
Yeah.
dude.
He just dipped. He kind of dipped.
Oh, he
too.
just
And
disappeared.
same thing with Sankey.
Same thing with Sankey, but like no one showed him any appreciation.
Yeah.
We were going through that like weird time too, where it was like LPOs flip flopping.
Whatever.
Then we had
They
a
all fucking
chief.
blow.
Then we had a senior chief. Then we had a chief, and then it was like
Leadership
Yeah.
was not consistent. It just kept. The only thing that stayed was Columbus.
It wasn't even like consistency.
Good
They
old
just
Kenny.
sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I love
and I'll-
hearing this from
and
you.
I'll-
I love it.
And I'll
dude.
blame. I mean, I've gotten into multiple fights about like
Bro, he's
what
always
things
standing up for
should
us.
do, what things should be done, and I think that's why Senior loved me so much, was because I was always fighting with him and Columbus.
Sure. I mean, I don't know that relation. I think Senior's a good dude.
I mean, he got shit done. That's all I really care
There's-
about.
That's what matters.
There's
Yeah.
many controversies over me, and I don't want to be the me. I don't want to be the me guy.
You're the problem child.
I am.
you're the
What?
golden child, problem child.
Yeah. I'm not. Maybe y'all will say I'm belligerent, but I'm outspoken.
Yeah.
And I don't take shit. And I don't particularly give a fuck what your rank is. If I think I'm in the right and I have grounds to stand on, I'll push back.
And
Yeah,
that's what
you
they
should.
don't like.
And that's what people don't like.
That's
Yeah.
why.
But at the Corpsman Bash ceremony,
Yeah.
I think, was it you? Was like, oh, Senior's over there.
Yeah.
I was like, Senior loves me. I talk to him all the
Yeah.
time.
I was like, hey,
he
let's
has
go show Senior.
he has no issues with my pen. He fought for me not to get fucked over for my pen,
Mm-hmm.
but the leadership fucked me over and put not recommended for retention, and also adhere to the stricter guidance of the FMF pen, which is we don't have to give you an SP, but we can. And
Yeah.
they did. And then when I got it, it was kind of chief first chief, and one chief isn't liked. And so I'm getting like told from DSO, like, oh,
Backlash, back
no,
and forth.
no, they don't like, there's your paperwork's fucked up and they don't like that you got your pen. I'm like, look, I'm pretty sure if I go talk to we'll have a good conversation, and it's nothing to do with me. And that's kind of what I was told. It's like, it's nothing to do with you. It's chiefs. It's one chief going over another chief and another chief not being well received. But it just really pissed me off. Like, dude, I truly earned it. I fucking got it done.
Yep.
It was really hard struggle and like fucking anguish for me, especially because it almost ended my career.
Mm-hmm.
And then people were like, oh, dude, I felt like I got a fake pen is what I was being told. And like, that pissed me off. Like,
How?
I don't know. It upset me. I don't want to talk too much about it, but
The whole pin thing
the whole pen thing, dude.
is
Pedraza got his pen.
yeah.
Did he really?
Yes, he
He
did.
couldn't do a
That
skill
is
bridge.
so funny.
They-
I do remember him.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't know
could-
he actually got it though. Good
Yeah.
for him.
Yep.
He finally got it.
He was like, fuck
Congrats
it.
to him.
But the amount of stress to get the pin is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know
It was
about
like-
deployment. I didn't try on deployment, but I feel like that is such the prime time.
Yeah, I think I pushed it like 2 or 3 times, and then I was like, "Hey, if you don't want to get it, I don't care."
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Because I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it with you and Sanchez.
Yeah, what a fucking fake bitch.
Well, we
then
tried,
there's-
we tried
I'm
to
like
do
a
it, and
Shaq.
that was a whole.
Me and this guy right here were not on talking terms for a
Oh.
few days.
I'm tracking.
give each other a head nod at CrossFit. That was pretty much it.
Yeah,
Bro, it was like me.
we went. We
I
would
got,
go.
I got
we went
really
like
bad
this.
really bad word from Garcia Rossetti, the female Garcia.
I was
and, like,
about to say
Rossetti.
which one.
They were like, yeah, pretty much you only, and I took like, oh, this is the gospel, but they're like, pretty much you only need to know a third of the book. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll fucking memorize
Oh my
every
God.
third question.
Yep.
I remember
we were
this.
marking, and I looked at Mason. I'm like, this
is
doesn't
not gonna
seem
work.
right.
Yeah, and then Gonzo was just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, isn't this the way it works? And they're like, no. Any question they can ask you.
I still in my book have like
Yes.
multiple colors.
It was hard. It was hard for me to study because I had too many highlights from that. I'm sorry. Hey, we took the exam and we got that out of the way because that fucked over Miller in the long run.
Yes, and
Oh,
I'm so
yeah.
glad you guys did that, because that was the reason I pushed on to you guys, was because you don't have to do. We did the prac-apps.
Right.
Because like if you're supposed to do book, prac-apps, test, but if you already done the test, you've already done the prac-apps.
Yeah.
So it was like
Senior
you
was-
you only have to study for the book then.
Yeah. Senior was like, oh, do you think it's too long? I think you got to do your prac apps. I was like, no, I did my test. oh, you good then.
Yep.
But like Stanfield, all these other people had to go down to DSO and do
Yes.
prac caps. And it's like, yo, suck shit, bitch. That sucks, bro.
Well, and half of them don't even know how to use a radio, which is funny.
Dude, I'm a fucking prior Marine. I don't know how to use a radio. I talked to Gunnery Sergeant right in that seat right there. He's like, fuck radios. I don't
fucking tape.
I don't ever want to be in charge of a radio.
Yeah,
like
this shit's
it's
horrible.
bullshit.
It is heavy and it sucks to hike with.
Oh yeah, how is that, Mr. Stay?
Oof. I don't know. So I got how I got into being RO was I just got super pissed one day. We were on a mission and we couldn't get radios up. And I was like, this is fucking, how can you not get this radio up? So it was all busted up, and I spent 3 hours after we got done with the mission just playing with the radio and figured it out. I'm calling Pazorski. I'm calling, who was it, Brignon and them. I'm trying to figure it out. Ended up being a key was messed up. Mm-hmm. But because I spent so long on it, I figured out the radios.
Yeah.
So hey, you're going to be the ARO. I'm like, sweet, I'm not just going to sit in the hide site anymore. Worst mistake ever.
Yeah.
Because those things, my pack
What do you
went from
say?
like
Get
six,
fucked, pussy.
went from like 60 pounds to now it's 80.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is horrible. And then somebody got sick, so they bumped me up to RO.
Damn.
So
Just say I'm not doing any more of this shit until y'all send me to fucking sniper school.
trying.
Yeah.
Apparently he's going.
Really?
Maybe it's.
Does it
I'm
still
trying.
happen?
Yeah. They just had 1-5, just had a corpsman pass.
Sick, dude. Do you know his name?
No, we worked with him in Bridgeport. I just can't remember his name. And then there's 2 1-4 corpsmen starting it next week.
That's sick.
But it was like the first corpsman to pass sniper school in like 15 years.
Was it one of your buddies that's going?
Oh yeah,
I like him. Second class?
Does this say
yeah.
his name?
Vertesk.
I don't know it.
Oh.
I just remember
Vertesk
his
and
face.
Fig, I believe are their names.
I remember.
I don't know Fig. I know Vertesk.
He checked in as like a fucking fresh boot.
Yep.
And then I saw him probably a week before I checked out.
Second class.
Yeah, second
Yeah.
class, pen, salty camis. He's
was
like,
like, oh.
already knows his shit. I was like, respect, dude.
That's cool.
But
Come a long way.
yeah, they're just pumping them through now.
That's cool.
So
Yeah,
I
dude.
love that, dude.
You better
It's time
pass.
for,
cool.
it's time for those
I gotta get in a little bit of shape here.
Shut the hell up.
Time for those life-saving corpsmen to get some fucking kills under the belt. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
pretty cool.
Exactly.
But I think the last class is supposed to be September.
What do you
Last
mean?
class as in.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of snipers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's for sure now.
Yeah.
It's still not officially signed, but
It's-
So
the new commandant of the Marine Corps is the one who wrote.
who's this man?
I forget his name is.
It's not Burger.
No, Burger's
No.
out.
He's
They got a
gone?
new one, but the guy Smith is his name. Last name Smith, which is it could be.
Yeah.
You can just
anybody.
Google it.
But he wrote the 2030 plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, and 2030 plan is get rid of snipers.
What if you need a long shot?
Designated marksman.
So they're getting rid of weapons company as a whole,
Yep.
Well,
which
I mean,
I think
in-
is smart.
okay, in the FMF book, some of that shit is
Task
just
organized.
Yeah, task
Mhm.
organized. It's like however it fits the fucking deployment.
Mhm.
So technically, they don't need weapons company. Just put them out all throughout
'Cause-
the line.
Well, and that's how it should be.
That was my deployment to Afghan my first time. They took weapons company, disbanded it, reinitiated dog company, who was Bassaloons. Gunnery Sergeant Bassaloon was a 1-7 dog company. His family, whatever heritage, came out for the ceremony. They took personnel from every other company and put them into Animal Alpha, old phonetic alphabet, and Animal Company was huge. And Animal Company didn't do patrols like us. They were all stationary, and they trained Afghan locals for their military police force, whatever the fuck it was. We had 81s who were actually garbage.
Still.
And they were the mechanized unit. And we went on a mission with them, and my buddy, they're like, any questions? He's like, yeah, what's the evac plan for a down vehicle? And they're like, sir, can you handle that? He's like, what was the question? He's like, what's the evac plan for a down vehicle? He's like, we have all that settled. So just, and they're like,
That's great.
care to share? And he's like, no. And we're like, you don't know what you're doing. Anyway, all confidence lost. But yeah, we didn't have weapons.
Yeah.
They were just kind of attached here,
Just
there.
the
Oh, you
machine
have a
gunner.
skill to shoot an 81 mortar? Cool. Yeah, we have that guy with us.
Yep.
Heavy machine guns are on this. And then one of our machine gunners fucked it up. But
Was stay part of weapons when you initially came in?
I
Or were they
I think they're
own
H&S.
entity? They were
Yeah.
H&S.
I think
By the
they're
book,
H-
they're H&S.
That's what, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what my dad was like. Yeah. Well, when I told him I was taking over for Senior Line, I was like, yeah, I have 81s, CAAT, whoever else, and then stay. He was like, what the fuck? He's like, they're not a part of H&S? What the? I was like, no, dude. They
No,
changed that a while ago.
they're in
But it's
weapons.
in my book. He's like, yeah, that's fucking gay.
Well, dude, I was getting tripped up at the end. It was, anyway, I was getting tripped on the end. I'm on recon, dude. I'm on recon
The last.
on the last chapter. And I'm like, dude, don't it. Don't.
Mason.
Oh, that's right. You botched.
And he's like asking me, it's the chief of the board. He's asking me the questions. And they're like, what are some things that recon does? What are their, whatever the fuck. I was
The
like,
tasks.
yeah, their tasks. I was just like, whatever. They implant devices in the ground for tracking. And like, I had my 3 memorized or whatever, and I kept going through, and that was one of them. And he's like, you got to tell me something else. I'm just like, dude, this is the last chapter, and like, we're stuck on this question. And I was like, did they implant devices for tracking ground troops in the area? And he's like, and then like an HM1 stands up, walks to his book, and he's like, yeah, he's right. He's like, all right, next question. And it was like Manny. And like, he kept fucking something else up too. Like, dude, it was so nerve wracking.
Who's your chief for your board?
My chief.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
But no, be completely honest. Besides the fact that he kept encouraging us to like fucking relax, dude. It was the same board.
Oh yeah.
That
No,
first,
there's complete integrity with like the FMF boards. Like they do not care.
what do you mean?
Like even if your chief or your HM1's on the board, like they don't care. Like if you
100%
don't know it,
integrity.
like you'll get dropped.
I had Teely on mine.
I had Teely and Ace on my first one,
Mhm.
and then a chief I didn't know, and 2 dudes on the sides I didn't know. Yeah, I had 2 HM1s that were mine, and I just didn't know GCE. And I was just like, dude, please just kick me out of the room. Like, fucking, I'm dying here on every single question. And then, yeah, so I remember taking the break for GCE, just like, Manny, bro. And he's like, we got this, dude. You know this shit. And like, went back in, nailed it. And then they kick us out again to try and play the little head game. Like, how do you think you did? I'm like, I think we did it. They're like, you think so? I'm like, yeah.
I hope so.
They didn't kick us out.
Yeah. And then they're just like, all right, y'all pass. I was like,
Oh, that's crazy. Because with my first one, they did that exact same thing and then failed us.
I had a buddy in 1-4 who he did his on deployment, and they were like, you can fail 2 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
They failed 1. They failed CEB, and they knew it. They were going to take the L on that one. They finish up, and the chief failed them. And
what battalion?
1-4.
Yeah. Do y'all know?
No.
No. Okay.
Oh,
Story time,
the
huh?
chief?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you know about that pin?
Hers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what happened?
Didn't board.
It was
Oh yeah. The old the old 1-4 chief like fucking put on blast or some shit.
Yep. In front of everyone.
Yeah.
And that's how everyone found out. And then telling me, he's like, dude, this bitch doesn't know. Damn, I need to bleep that too. this chief doesn't know how to board. And she was murder boarding them on. She was asking every question. They're like, you've asked 5 questions. They got
Move on.
Move on.
Stop asking
And
questions.
She kept asking, and they kept. You ask enough, they'll fucking fuck up. They'll get so many wrong. And he was like, I gave up after that, dude. I got so pissed. Yeah, and there's some other controversies on our deployment. He wasn't aware of. I was. I don't think they're controversial, but the phone call. You know about that one?
Yeah.
You don't know about that?
The
No.
phone call board?
The phone call board.
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, so I didn't study for that because they didn't. Nobody told me. They're like, hey,
If you would have stayed in undisclosed location long enough, you would have.
You could have got your
board.
pin.
but they never told me that.
I knew that. I was like, well, dude, because when I got there, there's Sergeant Major there, cool dude. Well, the guy that I was with was cool dude, and he's like, hey, we can't have like your head shed come out. It's like it's a.
Don't.
Oh, I see what's happening. He's like, if your head shed comes out, like it's a strain on us for like rations and housing and stuff. And if it's not absolutely necessary, we really can't afford to have people come out in like coffins saying like, I'm gonna come out, we're gonna board you out. And like as soon as that dude told me that, I was like, oh, there's no way. My HM1s, my chief is gonna come out here. They're not gonna green light some enlisted dude to come out here to board me. So I was actually like opening my book up, bumping around the back of a fucking JLTV or JLV, and like actually reading my book, and then I get horrible news.
Hey, you're leaving.
They're like, it's your wife, right? She's foreign. I was like, nah, dude, I didn't. Yeah.
I did some things.
else.
Yeah, that's all right.
But yeah, apparently I kind of believe him. But you know, if I was in the same situation, absolutely not.
Fuck that, dude.
Swears up and down, dude. My book was in my locked. He had like a safe. It was in, and I did, and then other people say they heard pages turning.
So that's a lie. So his book was locked up.
Okay.
But his book was on his phone.
Oh, okay.
So I think for a portion of it, he had his computer that was on Zoom, but then his phone, so he could like sit like this, but like beep, 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 and scroll on his phone, like where the book was.
Yeah.
But he swears up and down that didn't happen.
Swears up and
I
I would
get a
too.
last name,
Liar.
first letter of the last name.
IDC.
Yeah, there you go.
Hours.
And then apparently there's a certain coordinator
FMF coordinator?
that was very good friends with a certain senior line
Oh, yeah.
who was Dink.
How do I know? I don't know.
And then
any
all
of
of a
this.
sudden, ominous dominus.
Yep.
You have your
You're
pin.
good.
Well, you know what's crazy? As I walked into Surge, I did probably get something signed, but I'm like watching him and they're just like going back and forth bullshitting. They're like, oh, yep, that's sort of right. Yep. Okay, move on. And I'm like going back and forth. I'm like, is this a practice board, a real board? He's like, no, they're boarding. I was like, where the fuck is all the other people, man? I got every single H1 in there.
Yeah, that's so. That
Deployment.
brings up something else. We'll put a little tack right here. But I remember you just bored. I thought they were gonna hook it up, and then I was like, and I had the text ready to send to Ace, like in a text to Ace, and I had my sergeants all read it. Like, look, every time I go to study, it's really fucking hard. It's really hard justifying why I have to do this. I'm a prior Marine. I just did some real ass shit. And now the focus is get this pin or get fucked over.
Well, I thought in the first place you should never had to like, even if you didn't.
And that
do
was
all
a bit
that
of
stuff.
But it's a little arrogant of me. Like,
But it's not really like you're a prior Marine.
yeah.
You should not have like.
You're a combat vet.
Yeah.
And
like.
On deployment, I think if I would have sent that, it would have gone further than when I finally told Senior Chief, who's a chief removed from our deployment. He was like, look, I'll send it up. I'll ask. But let me show you this right here. There's no exception to the rule. No. And he's like, it's no, dog. It's
No exception.
No exception. Right.
Well, see, when you go on deployment, though, your FMF coordinator is your chief. So they can basically do whatever they fuck
Whatever
they want.
they want.
Yeah.
So they can make it as strict as possible or as easy as possible.
All right.
And I can't believe that I didn't realize that. Because I've watched a couple podcasts and you mentioned it, and I'm like, dude, why did I not think of that?
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Well, Garcia, after deployment, I'm working on Max's cross, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this. I need to be studying, but, fuck that right now. Let me do this. I was definitely going through something. And
Which that cross was
hey, thanks, man.
unbelievable.
Appreciate that.
Fucking mint.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. And Garcia was just like, Matt, he's like, wait, what? You have to get a pen? Fuck that. And he like goes and talks to Brinkley. Brinkley, he comes back and he's like, Brinkley said, check your LES. I was like, the fuck does that mean? He's
U.S. Navy.
U.S. Navy. I was like, that kind of pisses me off that was his answer.
That was a smart ass answer.
Yeah, smart ass
That's a
answer.
Brinkley answer right there.
So I love Brinkley, but
I do
there's
too.
certain aspects that I'm like, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
This doesn't need to escalate.
Yeah. Well, that's a little bit of what I deal with at my current command. Being where I came from and being a senior line, I had no accountability, but I did my job, and I think I did my job well.
Mm-hmm. That was the best thing for you.
Yeah,
Senior line.
I feel like I shined. I go to where I'm at, and it's like, dude, you're a minute late. They're calling you. Where are you? I'm like, I'm in the parking lot. Like, what's
You talking
what's
about
up?
tracks?
Yeah,
It's basically blue side.
it is. I'm in a clinic. I see
Hoax.
sick call patients, all this, and they have issues with the head shed. The middle ranks have issues with the head shed, and like, I'm down here, my little E4. I have no issues. That chief, whatever you say about him, he's team dude. He has been #1 advocate for me since I've been at that command.
Is the Filipino chief?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Is this oh yeah, I know who.
But they have all these issues. And he is very intelligent. He's in shape. The only thing I could think of is he's still stuck in some of his HM1 ways where he is very attentive to accountability and where his guys are. As a chief, I don't think that's his responsibility per se, but hey, it's his fucking show.
He's still pretty new though. He's only been a chief for like 6-7 months.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah.
That would be my only critique, but that's just becoming a chief, learning to fucking
How to chief.
how to manage your guys that manage that thing you used to do for yourself, right? But so I show up, hey, what's your plan? I was like, well, dude, I just fucking lost my quota, so like I'm getting the fuck out, I guess, unless y'all can get me to Texas. That's the only place I really want to go. And they're like, all right, what'd you fuck up on? I was like, GCE. Like, that was it. I only had one board. I got 2-week extension, which was, pretty G of 2-1 in the coordinator at the time to give me a 2-week extension. Not everybody got that, but I had one board. I didn't really have a murder board, and I failed. And the new coordinator in the room was like, hey, look, this is the way I see it. Your dink date, though it's in whatever month, you have till the end of the month. So I'll give you another board if you come in 2 weeks later. I was like, I got an extension. I don't think, what was it? My dink date was February 24th, and I was in March. I took my board in March, 2 weeks later. I'm like, so I'm not in that month anymore. He's like, oh, we'll talk. I go to Cortez, and he's like all happy. It's right before Christmas. No, dude, I don't even fucking remember my timelines.
I was like,
You got
Christmas.
it. I think I got mine February 10th. You were end of February.
I think I was November 24th.
That's
So I was in
yeah.
December. And like the two dudes pass and like, oh, well, at least you'll have a good Christmas and good holidays. And then he gets to me. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, he's like, oh, he gets silent. Mood changes. He hands me a piece of paper.
Turn this into your chief.
Turn this into your LPO, yeah. And I fucking go down. BAS, everyone's silent. I fucking walk in, see Columbus. I'm like, failed GC. He's like, okay. I'll fucking peace out. And
Was
then-
I there for that?
I don't think anyone was really. No, if you were, everyone was silent. Like, no one was making eye contact, which is really cool.
I don't.
You know? There wasn't any like, dude, you'll be all right. You fucking,
We'll figure this out.
yeah, if shit happens. None of
Yeah.
that. It was just silence. I was like, this feels good. I just
What was
failed
I?
on top, dude. Like, really, I think it was like new people in the office, like
Okay.
new people, and then like Columbus happened to be there, and I just turned it in. And then I think I'm getting like a burrito, and like getting in my car. He texts me something. Maybe I text him. I was like, hey, the coordinator was saying maybe I could like 2 weeks if I cancel my leave. And he's saying, he said, nah, dude, you're done. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Get fucked.
And he's like, but don't dump it all. Like, you could probably get this done like pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, you know what? Let me get back to you on that. I wouldn't want to say something rash like, fuck the Navy, fuck the FMF pin, and I hate it. I hate this shit. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I've said that a lot of times.
And he's like, yeah, you wouldn't want to say something like that. Anyway, that was the pin situation for me. But you know, I show up, they're like, what's your situation? I'm like, oh dude, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get forced out, lost my quota. And they're like, all right, hang tight. But you need to start your TSP or whatever the fuck your outbound shit.
TRS.
TRS, yeah. I'm like, all right. And then like I'll go to my first huddle and they're like, all right, sick call in. You guys need to get trained up on this. You need to get there. I'm like, whoa. Like, you want me to like go to TRS or you want me to learn how to be a fucking Blue Side Clinic corpsman again? And I fucking pretty quickly went and talked to like my LPO and chief. Like, look, like, what do y'all want me to do? And they're like, well, hang tight. We actually might be able to get you a second board. I'm like, all right. And then a few days later, they're like, can you board out in 2 weeks? I'm like, yeah. And so 2 weeks, me being there, I'm just like locked away by myself. You show up a few times, help me. I do a murder board. And then Manny hits me up like, hey, you're going to be on my board. I'm with, what is it, 3-1?
1-1 or
Nah.
first reg.
No.
It had to be 3-1.
It would have been.
It was 3-1.
Because
Manny who? Manriquez?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there were 3-1 guys on the board.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So their LPO comes
More.
in, and interesting story about him.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in and it's like, hey, we have all these fucking new guys, and they put them through the grinder of the FMF before like CTM, I think, because they couldn't get them spots, and all these boots are getting fucking FMF qualled because they created a program. Really genius, but we didn't have the ability to do that.
Well, yeah, and I think it went to 3-1 was getting all of their bodies first.
Yep.
So that way, because we were short all the way up until the end.
Until about
Like,
February.
Short period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like in general. So I think that's why 3-1 was able to do that because they had so many fucking people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Manny hits me up like, you're on my board.
Mm-hmm.
You should kind of, I'm like, well, let's study. He's like, dude, I study with 3-1. They have this whole program. And
The
so,
cookbook.
yeah. And so I run it up. That guy is British and it bothers me. He also has a beard.
Oh, he's funny as shit.
Yeah, he's fine. But he would like drop the accent and it would come back when he's like hanging out with
Yep.
his boys. I'm just like, this is something about
The
this.
fake accent.
He has a British accent.
Oh.
Yeah, he's British. And he also has a beard. And it's just like, this is rubbing me the wrong way. Whatever, let me focus. And so I do like 4 days and we murder board like every day. And then we go in, we nail it. And so for me, they like, and then Chief calls my detailer on like my 4th window. And he's like, yo, I got this dude. He got bad word. Where can we send him? And he's like, all right. It says all you want to do is Texas. He's like, you want anything else? I was like, dude, like Spain or Italy would be pretty dope. I'll send you a Sigonella. I'm like, my whole family? He's like, yep. I'm like, dude, let's
Yes, please.
Let's go. And so for me, like, dude, this chief is awesome.
Yeah.
And then I'm used to, I did that my first 2 weeks. I come back. One of the HM2s is deployed, and everything's kind of going smoothly, but I'm like unaccounted for. I have like this PMR closet. I just like lock myself in.
I remember that.
And then I just fucking, well, after the gym, I hang out for about an hour and I kick out around 2. And then I would kind of do that once everything kind of went back to normal, where like this dude came back from deployment, kind of cranked down a little bit. And then it wasn't even him, but I peace out. I fucking fall asleep in my car at lunch. I'm like 15 minutes late coming back from lunch. Like, where are you? And I'm like, oh, shit, my bad. All right. Usually no one ever gives a shit. And then hang out. Nothing's going on. I fucking leave. And I get a text. Again, 4 o'clock with my kids in my front driveway. Like, where the fuck are you? And it's 2 HM2s who watch the podcast, and nothing to you, but I'm in a group text with, it's 3 people, me and 2 HM2s. One of them just got put in this group chat. Why the fuck were you late for lunch? And why the fuck did you leave early? And
whoa.
And I'm like, I put my phone down. I'm just trying to like get unangry and like enjoy the time with my family.
I'm just happy it wasn't me this time calling.
You guys know how I get. Like,
Yep.
I'm just like, I'm like, my wife's like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know. I'm pissed off. I just need to
Not be mad.
not respond right now. And so like an hour or so later, I was like, I left because I had nothing going on. I don't need to be told when to leave. I'm not a boot. I'm a responsible person, and I'm with my family right now. So some other text comes across, and before I can respond angrily, the other HM2 is like, let's just talk in person. I'm like, yep, probably the best.
Perfect.
Was this the brother?
I was just about to ask that.
No. Nothing to do with him at all.
No.
Really? What the fuck?
No.
Was
felt
he the
like-
one who like made everything stop?
No, I don't even think he was there the morning after. And they tried to tell me, like, you're not allowed to go to the PMR office, which has a working computer that I do work on anymore. And
That's retarded.
and I think my text was, I'll be goddamn. No, you can eat shit if you, I like that phrase. You can eat shit if you think I'm going to sit on my fucking hands in front of you being told when I can fucking leave just because y'all don't have the balls to let me go. And the other HM2 is like, why don't we just talk in the morning and we can figure this all out? I'm like, okay.
Because like it's what, 5 o'clock at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
PM.
Yeah.
Like
If I-
no one's at work.
Right. Granted, text messages, things come across differently. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I'm next morning, we do muster. I wait around in the room for a second. I'm like, no one wants to talk to me. I go to my PMR office. One of them comes grab me, like, let's chat. All right, sit down. My new LPO's there. My IDC's there. And 2 second classes. Like, what's going on? And I blow up, dude. I fucking hate it here. You guys are so up your fucking own asses. You can't figure anything out. You want to fucking bring it down on us. We ain't got shit going on. You don't have the balls to fucking cut us. You don't have any leadership ability to fucking tell it. I have to cut all this, but you don't have any leadership ability to tell us to fucking, all these dudes are junior. Tell them to fucking take the trash out and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Y'all love staying late, even though y'all complain about it. Nothing ever gets done on time. This is bullshit. I fucking hate it here. I fucking hate it here, and I won't be treated like a child. And I'm like, okay.
So who speaks up first?
And they're like, well, man. And they made valid points. Like, look, dude, like, we get it. You're not a boot. You just have to communicate. Chief was looking for you. That's why we got bitched at twice for you not being back from lunch and leaving early. And I got hard orders. That's why he wanted to talk to me. I'm like, yes, I could communicate better, but don't come at me all fucking moto and sideways and think I'm going to respond to that.
Yeah.
Talk to me like a human. Don't put me in a group chat with some fucking setup like I have a witness in this group chat, and that just rubbed me the super wrong way. And then I went and talked to Ace. I was like, yeah, dude, is there any way I can like subtly get the fuck out of here? I don't like it. And I talked to him last Friday. I've re-enlisted. I got an EP.
Hell yeah.
That was a whole nother
You guys
situation.
got your evals?
So-
I still haven't got mine.
Wait. Did you get it from
Nope.
2-1 or tracks?
Tracks. And that was the whole thing.
What number did you get?
The only one.
One of one.
No. The only EP out of 5 E4s.
That's weird, but okay. I mean, it works. Whatever. EP
There's-
is an EP for you.
There's more controversy to that. So
Yeah.
apparently there's another EP that could be given out.
Well, it's a win for you.
Yeah.
Yes, especially because of what was happening.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
But you would have You would have gotten it anyway, I think. If you were to look at it as like a common person, all those dudes were boots. You guys have been there the longest. That's why when he was fucking, oh my God, am I going to get an EP? I was like, dude, have some common sense.
Shut the fuck up.
Before we even did these evals, I was like, dude, have common sense.
All right.
Who's a boot? Who's been here the longest?
Yeah,
To be
Just
fair,
based
though,
off that, you're going to get one.
To be fair, though, on that one, it is 2-1, and it's like, I know.
Yeah.
But, like, it's...
I'll comment on that, but
But that was a good impersonation of my voice.
You're welcome.
So I see Ace. I go talk to Ace. He always needs some like homie hookup for his PSs to get like PHAs done and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But I go in. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck you blowing me up for, dude? He sent me are you at work? Like exclamation, question mark, exclamation. And I've tried to call him.
Oh, he does not answer. Because
Yeah.
he does the same thing with me, and he just doesn't answer.
I go into his office. We're like cut. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? And he's like, what? I'm like, you blowing me up. What's up? And he's like, I'm like, did you get my phone calls? He's like, I got one. I was like, I've tried calling you twice. And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, all right. He's like, but I told him, I expressed, and to my chief, like directly after, like, I want out of this fucking unit. I don't like this shit. And Ace is like, so are you still like, what's up? Are you going somewhere else? I was like, no, my MO left, who was a personality. I have no problems with my chief. And I think a lot of the other people are kind of up their own asses. I don't think they're bad people, but I think they're causing so much
Unnecessary drama.
Unnecessary drama in the fact, like, let some things go and fix it yourself at your level. And their complaints are like, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong. And I'm like, that's just the way it's gonna be. And I've told them, like, hey, man, we have a new LPO. Maybe you don't like him, but what you need to do and what I'm doing is learn how he works so I can work with him and see what's important to him. Can I bring him a special liberty or a leave chit the day before, or is that a huge deal to him? Can I take the day off because I have a family issue, or do I have to turn in a special liberty chit? Equipment needed. Maybe I'll have to take more accountability beforehand instead of asking for something closer to the deadline in order to make sure I have what I need and not leave it up to someone else. I have to learn that about my leaders in order to be successful in what I do. And they're like, yeah, we don't like, I'm like, well, then that's on you, man.
I think it just goes back to just treating him like a human being, like you were talking about earlier. Because like for your situation, it was like, I think it was like 2 days left of me checking out, and one of the H1s was like losing his shit because he needed a 30-day extension. Was that right?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
So whatever. So he was losing his shit because it was so close to him getting out, and he's like losing it on him. And I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down. He needs a 30-day extension. Like I needed the same thing, and I was not aware of it.
Yeah.
I was like, just help the dude out. Like all you have to do is fill out a form, have him sign it, and then send it off.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It takes 10 minutes, dude.
Speaking of, it's approved. So I can delay later or report later because it got approved.
He's such a fucking
that's the
tool, dude.
I see it all the time, though. Like, people panic so quickly instead
You?
of just... I panic for other reasons. But they, like, panic so quickly, especially, like, leadership roles. And then it's, like, super easy fixes. But, like, they just freak out in that moment and never, like, it just always blows up into bigger things.
I have two things on that. One was just a dude, and he works at the exchange. I'm cool with him. I've worked with him before. He's a sergeant. He came in, and he's like, walks right to the doc box. And there's a process, checking front desk, feel a little, I'm sick. And he's like, he sees me. I'm like, what's up, dude? I recognize him. He's like, I'm fucking sick. I'm like, oh, okay. Did you fill out a form? No, I'm fucking sick. I'm like, what? He's like, I need to get tested. I was like, we don't test anymore. Like the hospital's across the street and they don't have a tent anymore. We don't do that. I'm a little bit misinformed. We have like an in-house test. I was like, but you get a day off for COVID. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but did you fill out a question, fill out your sick call screener? He's like, no. I'm like, well, bud, there's a process. And he's like getting frustrated with me and getting flustered. And all I'm asking him to do is go to the front desk and get a piece of paper so I can process him right. And like other people he knows like wound up taking care of him. I'm like, all right, sorry. I'm sorry I came off that way, but I'm just asking you for a pretty simple thing. Yeah, there's the next one is apparently my wife who's has a visa. My wife who has a visa apparently can be get her citizenship because I'm going overseas with these orders fast-tracked with one piece of paper. And so I bring it up to my chief. He's like, dude, let's go to PSD. We'll get this shit done. Boom, that day. I'm like, all right, sick, let's go. We go down, and we're looking for this senior chief. Do y'all know? No?
Our old one?
No.
A different one?
That would have been a different story. But I have this paper filled out. I typed it up, and my wife doesn't have a middle name. And I put no middle initial, NMI for middle name. And he's like not losing his shit, but he won't drop it. And he's like, who told you to put no middle? What does this even stand for? I was like, no middle initial. He's like, did they say put that? I'm like, no, that's like, usually forms I have to fill out. It's like
usually how that Navy does it, bud.
Yeah. He's like, well, it would be NMN, no middle name, not no middle initial. And they have to tell you to put that. And they just would not drop it. And I'm like, what you're saying, this is not a big deal. It takes a quick stroke of the key to fix this. And then everything's
finished.
Kosher. And he wasn't going to do it. He's like, yeah, come back with it filled out correctly. Then my chief talked him into, he didn't know what Third Tracks was. And Third Tracks, like the real name of Third Tracks is 3D Tracks. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what that means. Third Tracks, yeah. And he's like, what it? And apparently he's a PS. He's not a corpsman. He's like, he's
retarded.
What is 3D? What is this? And my chief's like, that's us. That's the battalion he's in. And he's like, well, no. If I'm signing this, it has to say blah, 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 blah. And he wasn't going to do it. And then like we kind of waited him out. He filled it all out. He filled it all out within like minutes. But it was this whole
like it took like 30 minutes to an hour to get to that conclusion.
Yes.
Like this is not bad.
Yes,
and my panic.
You good?
Yeah.
Your panic.
You get mad?
No.
My panic is the first one. There was a reason for that panic.
Go ahead.
So the ghost white moment on deployment when 24 hours in.
When he was told he's going to.
Oh, dude, all I remember is Past going up to me. He's like, dude, this new corpsman asked me to do a run in TCCC. And I was like, okay. He's like, well, he shouldn't ask me. Like, he should already know. I was like, dude, he just wants extra practice. Knowing in my head that he has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
I wasn't worried about going. The biggest thing I was worried about was I don't know who I'm with.
Yep.
I don't know where I'm going because at the time they're just like, hey, pack your things. You're going somewhere. And then I think it was it Ren? No, Ren was gone. It was
Johnson.
Yep. And then we're like.
The famous instigator?
Yeah.
Both of them were.
Damn right they were.
Johnson's just spewing out things to me. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, I was like, dude, I haven't done a TCCC run in so long. Like, if I kill somebody over there with my medicine, like, I'm not coming back either. Like, this is bad. So I was just, like, so nervous because I was, like, trying to, like, prep. Because I was like, all right, I'm going to spend 6 months in Kuwait. I'm getting in shape because I was a little hefty. I enjoyed pre-deployment leave.
That was our plan because I did a run with him, and I was like, fuck, dude, this is so bad.
Well, I showed up with the 2018 version, not knowing that.
Yeah.
2018 what?
Deployment med.
TCCC.
So I showed up with that, and I'm like saying things. He's like, "Is this from the new thing?" I was like, "They updated it."
I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" He's talking about like Hexton and like all sorts of this. I was like, "Dude, no, drop that shit, dude."
So I had to like
new shit.
So I was like white as a ghost because I was like, "This, I just hope I don't kill anybody with medicine." And then you have to like try to be like calm about it, but also like, why the F are they sending me?
Yeah.
Like, how did I get put in this situation? And like I said, I didn't know anybody. I barely knew anybody from CAAT Red, let alone from CAAT Blue. And then,
Get one of those.
what's it called? Oh yeah, I'll pass it over. Thank you. Yeah, I go into First Sergeant Wright and see Captain Rod, and they're just like, "You're fine, man. Just be confident." I'm like, yeah, sounds good. Okay. And I was just like, And then I get there off the tarmac, off the plane, and then there's him just walking by me, just middle finger in the air and just mouthing "F you." Fuck you. And I'm like, oh God. And I show up in my uniform, not the frogs.
Yeah.
Because when I was, nobody told me. So I get on, like, they're just like, "Hey, you have your frogs in your bag?" I was like, "Yeah." And I guess Gunny had told Staff Sergeant to make sure I was wearing my frogs. But nobody told me.
Yeah.
So I get off the plane and they're like, "Where the F are your frogs?" And I'm like,
I don't know.
I didn't put in a good word for you.
I figured.
But they liked me a lot. And they're just like, yeah.
They loved you.
Well, bro, as soon as you mentioned prior machine gunner, they're like,
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh.
That's why I was like, how am I going to replace that?
Yeah.
Like, he had been with him for a
yeah.
month already.
I didn't like slam you. I didn't say anything bad about you. But they're like, "We're going to give him a hard time." I was like, "Okay, thank you."
Oh, they gave me a hard.
Oh, they did.
Oh, I sat in the back of the Vic on the way from where we landed to set undisclosed location, and I'm like thinking about what Johnson's telling me. So I'm like, all right, we're ready. I'm like Con 1, and I'm like sitting in the back stiff as a board. And I'm just like, this is where it's going down.
This
and
is it.
And I look in the front, and then, I don't know, said person, my VC, it's got their Kevlar off and everything. He's like, "You having fun back there?" I was like, "Yeah." And I'm just like looking out the back of the Vic the whole way. And I'm like,
It's awesome.
That's so funny.
What did Gunny tell you like week 1?
he was just like, "Pay attention."
No, I know. There's something.
Fat fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
in the truck.
Dude.
Let's go,
I was
fat
waiting.
ass.
He's like, "Get in the truck, fat ass." And I'm like, "Okay." The best was we were at the other place, and all of a sudden I hear out the window, because he rolled the window down. He's over the radio. He's like, "Target acquired, Fat Corpsman." The first time when he's like, "Hey, fat ass, get in the truck," I was like, "I think it's time I need to lose weight." So
You did lose a lot of weight.
I
Like
was-
before and after.
Bro, you put in work.
was-
I did
yeah.
not recognize you when you came back.
they had a Peloton there, and I would just
Yeah.
ride the crap out of that thing for
then you bought
an hour. Then I bought one.
That place had such good food, but also such good equipment. You
was
could go.
great.
You could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
That-
like, I knew I needed, like I say, my plan was to get in shape in Kuwait,
yeah.
because I was like, I'm not going to do anything. We're sitting around.
Yeah.
So I'm going to learn medicine in Kuwait again, and I'm going to learn or get back into fitness. So, and then I was watching YouTube videos, because we had like 3 days until our first patrol. So I'm watching YouTube videos. I am reading that TCCC manual for like front to back. I'm like, all right, I think I got this. I got my little QB sleeve with like how I'm going to do everything. And that first patrol, I was just like, oh my God. And I didn't know, like, what was it? I didn't know what a 5 and 25 was.
Okay.
So as I'm getting out of the Vic, the VC yells, "Hey, do your 5 and 25." And I like, what is that? He draws me a diagram in the vehicle, and I'm like tiptoeing, doing my 5 and 25. And I look over, he's on the other side, just zooming. And I'm just like step by step. I'm like, there could be an IED right here.
Yeah. So luckily we had 3-1 there to give us a rip. And so all of us were definitely that way. Not I think I was a little bit more on edge. Coming from and Gunny talked about that. Brett talked about this. Just like all you know is what you know from prior experience or what you've been trained for.
Yeah.
And what you've been trained for isn't always the up to date in the place you're going, right? So I'm going back to Afghanistan. And I don't, my previous experience, I remember someone asked me like, "Yo, what's this going to be like?" I was like, "Dude, I was in the cornfields, man. Like,
Yep.
I don't know what the airport of Afghanistan is like, but I don't know." And so I'm in this place and I'm pretty stiff. And then we're also at like different border checks.
Yep.
And it's just fucking hoopla going on. And like people are fighting each other. And I'm a little stiff. And they, forget if it was like Weldon or someone was just like, damn, Doc, you're tight. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm uncomfortable. They're like, it's not a bad thing. I'm like, yeah, all right. And then we went out with those fucking the civilian wearing operators to like a very historic, like a bridge that Jesus crossed over.
You talking about the Roman bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'm out there and I'm like full kit. I'm like ready, you know, and like they're busting out their phones and they're taking pictures. And like Gunny at the times is like, Doc, it's not like that. Like, look around, man. Like, we're not going to get sniped. This is we have civilians out here and they're hoopla, like taking pictures as well, because this is how historic. Like, we're not getting fucked up here. I'm like, oh, okay. And a couple times they'd be like, relax, and I'm in my old ways. Like, I'm patrolling again in Afghanistan.
That was a huge thing for me because I didn't know what to expect, but I had background like with my dad who already like knew what Afghanistan, Iraq was like. So like as soon as we got the call, I was like, dude, what the fuck do I need to expect? And
I didn't get a single thing of that. I was,
dude, it was nice. I think it goes into that panic, like especially in the military, like how you grew up. If you grew up in like a military family, and we're not a pogue, your panic level's like very, very high, I guess, because you can, or whatever, you can withstand the fucking chaos.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was just like, I knew like where my like levels were, and I wasn't fully sure what was going on up there. So like, there was no like brief of like, hey, this is going on. Like I say, with my medicine at the time, I was just like, I was so worried that I was going to kill somebody with my medicine and then have to like live with that and then like come back.
Yeah. I understand.
Rather than like, hey, you're going to get shot at. Like, you sign up for that part. Like, it's going to happen. But it was like, just don't fuck up there.
I also think that's a healthy fear. I think, you know, you care enough to, you know,
to not do bad medicine.
You're worried. You're worried about being a bad corpsman.
Because obviously in this line, your like name can go from like really good to really bad. And it could just like one incident. And it's like everybody knows your name and that like you're not good.
Yeah.
So it was like that was the fear too. And like I say, YouTube University was helping me.
I will say that when we were told, hey, you're going, and
undisclosed or Afghan?
Undisclosed.
Okay.
Undisclosed, this guy. I was like, what the fuck? Why is this fucking fat piece of shit going?
Dude, I thought the same thing.
I was like, dude, this is bullshit. Can I go? I was like, I'm the admin.
I know. I was telling Stave, like, yo, what the fuck? Send me.
When I say I was the last pick, I was legit the last pick because they tried to send you. They tried to send Mayo. They wanted to send you.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to send Jones.
Thanks, Rod was like, nope, I can't lose my corpsman. Stay. And Pete were like, nope, can't lose my corpsman.
Yep. And then good old was.
You were the last one.
But crazy, as soon as we went to Afghan, Captain Ron was like, oh, you want to go back to 81s? I was like, yes, please. And he was like, here you go.
Go.
I was like, what the?
Go ahead.
This is bullshit.
I was most upset that Jones was going to take my spot. And I text him, what the fuck is going on? He's like, I don't know, but I'm supposed to like take your spot. And I didn't know him from anything, but I was just like, this guy was kind of a dick to me. Like, I was trying to do some shit like
he just comes off as a dick.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's me too. But I remember I got my SIF issue and he was just trying to like boot check me and he was just saying certain shit. Gonzo did it a little bit too. And I remember,
did he know who like your background?
I don't know, but
I don't think
I remember kind of with both of them. I was just kind of like,
pause.
Save that shit for someone else, brother. Like, you know, the way I get, just like, I'm not going to accept this right now.
I'm not taking this from you.
If you're going to fucking help me with my gear, that's fine. But don't sit here and tell me about back when I was in the line company. You're not anymore. So obviously something has changed. But yeah, that was the most. And he also didn't give me any word. I'm like, yo, what is going on? He's like, oh, I'm supposed to go. I'm like, great. Anyway, do you know why?
I think it's so funny that when you look back at Afghanistan, there's only 2 corpsmen that went on the 31st meal, and the rest of them are boots. That's pretty funny. Or 3, because Whit.
Whit was there.
I forgot about him.
Whit.
But I think that's so funny because in
R.I.P. MA3 Whit.
Yeah.
MA2.
Yeah.
Oh,
MA2.
MA2.
Dude, you better put some respect
My
on
bad,
that,
Whit.
Jeez.
I know you're going to watch this later.
Did Gunny or Weldon? So Weldon scared the shit out of me as well because
he's a scary shit person.
yes, he is. I learned. He's like, yeah, when you're in the Vic, you know, if you fall asleep, it's okay. Well, I made the mistake of falling. I fell asleep. We were just getting like comms.
In undisclosed location?
In undisclosed location. And I fell asleep and I was in Weldon's vehicle. I nearly crapped my pants when this man goes, wake the fuck up. And I'm just like, pop to. And I was like, oh shit. Because I was like, thanks. Bad
That's
intel.
not my fault.
But
I
like,
didn't go to undisclosed location.
yeah, those dudes were like, at first, like, they definitely like, obviously were upset you were gone. So like, and those are like big shoes to fill. You're a Marine, prior machine gunner. Like,
Been in the shit.
you've been in the shit, and now some snot-nosed fat kid shows up.
Who didn't have a good word put in. They're like, who's this guy?
I don't know.
He's all right.
He's new.
I don't know him.
Yeah, they were
Not
like
a single good word.
Eventually, like, and they were good about teaching, like me.
Yeah.
So like they kind of like I think they realized that like, okay, he legit knows 0. And they're like, how many like field ops have you done? I was like, 1.
I did a 3-day. And they left me on the last shoot.
Did a 3-day, and then like, so they're like, hey, this, like, they started working more with like the 50, and the 240, like the pistol. We went to the pistol range. That was pretty funny because they're like, hey, you're not qualing today. We don't think you're gonna shoot expert. And I got so mad that like the pre-qual, I missed. I was like so angry that they thought that. Just like a competitive person, like, I'm gonna show you that I missed 2 headshots from 7 yards. And then they're like, all right, well, just send it on the next one. I ended up shooting like a 384 or 388, something like that, and which it's out of 400.
Okay.
And they're like, what? How? And I was like, I was really pissed off.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, did you get your qual?
I am expert in both pistol and rifle qual.
Same.
I still have no right.
Did you?
I have
Never mind. I'll push past
fun
that.
fun facts.
Yes.
I have never BZO'd my rifle, never qualled my rifle. Like, I think I've shot the only time I've shot my M4 was in said undisclosed location.
Yeah.
And I hadn't shot a rifle since field med. And Weldon was like, hey, we're doing this course of fire where you're running. And I'm like, probably should just let me sit here and shoot and like practice loading and reloading. And he's like, nah, fucking run. I'm like, okay. I was like, I don't know if it's hitting. I was like, I was supposed to BZO this thing 2 months ago. We never did.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was hitting the targets or anything, but I was the only one that day that I think maybe 1 or 2 other people that didn't forget to like load a mag in their, like, they were doing their movements, but like never put a mag in. And they go to fire.
Yeah.
Click,
Those
click.
boots were nervous too.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I broke I didn't break it, but on the first patrol, there was a giant pothole. And like, we were in this field. And I was like standing outside doing watch. And I'm like, oh, we're not going to hit that. I don't need to say anything. And all of a sudden we're driving and boom, we hit this thing. And it broke the axle.
Oh, that's
So our hour drive turned into a 3-hour drive.
Very
And
nice.
We're doing after actions. They're yelling at and they're just reaming into him like, how did you not know this? And I'm like,
Fucking dude.
that was my fault. They're like, Doc, it's not your fault. And they just start ripping into him. And I was like, oh, okay.
Is that the reason why they sent him back?
No,
Early?
they had a cycle that they were going to do.
Yeah, they were
initially.
They had plans to be there for 7 months.
Yeah,
The whole deployment.
Yep.
And they had a rotation set up, and they were swearing like, dude, we're gonna get your clearance squared away. We're going to get you the fucking back out here. And, you know, maybe if that operation continued on and the S2 sergeant had read his emails and it wasn't the day before I got on a plane where you text me, hey, ran into Z. He said you got your clearance back. He lost your number. I was like, whoa.
Yep. Dude, that was so funny.
I guess I'm not an important person to remember. You know, my whole career depends on this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take the tack out of the wall on my point, and I want to bring up something because I want to clarify if I'm remembering correctly. So we get the word. The news is happening. President has said we're pulling out, and the air changes. A seriousness over Cat Blue comes in, and like we go to work. They are packing quad cons over and over again. We're getting as many lubricants for the machine guns and batteries we can, doing as much, you know, hood rat drug deal stuff to get the equipment we need. And the boots are over and over again packing the quad cons that they swear they're going to come and prepping the vehicles that we're going to have, which never showed up. And luckily, I think it was Sorovi who's like, let's hand carry these 240s. And so that was the only machine gun things we had were the hand carried 240s because nothing else showed up. And then, hey, Doc, we need litters. I communicate with Chandler. And then I remember went to go get them, and a certain buff HM1 was just like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm getting these litters. He's like, you sure you're supposed to be taking those? I was like, hey, I communicated to the correct lines. If you want to check on that, that's fine, but I'm leaving here with these litters right now. Run into a dude, hey, what's this going to be like? I don't know. We'll be all right, dude. We'll be all right. And then I'm told, hey, come get your narcs. The guy that lost his security clearance.
Narcotic.
You're going to get narcs for the second time, granted. And so I show up, and you're there.
Yes, sir.
And we go into a room, and I believe you're there, maybe Chandler.
I think you were there.
I might have been, I don't know. Yeah, I remember you two walking in.
From what I remember is that, hey, here's Cat Blue's narcotics. Here's Cat Red's narcotics. Once you get there, someone will be there. And I think they said the PA.
It was supposed to be ma'am. Yeah, because she was going to be the overall, like, authority.
And over there. You will, in front of her, you will divide your narcotics up to your co-corpsman. Until then, this is your SL3. This is a big deal. Don't talk about it. I've been through this speech before. That's correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the plan. Of course, it all went to shit, like, the next day. But, yeah, that was the overall plan.
Yeah, you had the narcotics. I didn't.
Well, that was it was hard for me to talk about. Luckily, Whitaker actually helped me on the last podcast to like speak about it. That's why I left my med bag when I ran off, because my narcotics are right here. Hey, there's my med bag. Wink, wink, nudge. I'm not going to get my narcotics are in my med bag, Gonzo. You know, hey, there's my med bag, and then I fucking take off.
Yeah, I just
because I thought I saw you running.
Yeah, I remember I saw you. I was like, oh, going, and then
yeah. It's not the most comfortable thing for me to talk about. Still get tripped up on that, but it is what it is.
I mean, that whole situation is never easy, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's certain things that I think people regret in the day or leading up. Like, I wish I would have stayed senior line up to that point, but I got excited to go back to a platoon.
I don't think there was an option.
There was.
Oh.
There was a I mean, it wouldn't have been a great option.
Yeah. But I've talked about that. That would have been useful, but I don't hold you anything against you for that. I don't know if that's what's going through your head.
I think a little bit, but I think in the beginning it was a little bit, but toward I'd say like now or like past 6 months, it's been, hey, I was in that right spot where I would have been if I was a senior line anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I went through CTM, they were like talking about things, and I'd like mentioned, I was like, hey, like if you're in this leadership spot, and we were doing like CCPs, I was like, just because you're a E3, E4 doesn't mean that you're not going to be the one leading these things.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I had two dudes, because it was him and Sanchez.
Yes.
you were the ones that were leading that whole thing.
Yeah, so like Sanchez took my spot, and then I took that nurse's spot, which also fuck you.
Yeah. Way to just dip out.
Crazy.
Not to mention you left something on the airport as well, but we won't go into that one.
Say
Yeah.
it.
I don't know about this one, so I'm kind of curious.
Somebody may or may not left some very, if we lost them, said narcotics.
Oh. Well, that was
That's
a conversation I had to have with Captain Rod. And I was like, sir, I don't know what the plan is with our gear, but I think if we're burning gear, you have to watch me stomp these narcotics. He's like, or we can keep them. I was like, that's up to you, sir. But as far as the paperwork goes, you saw me dispose of them.
Well, I walked up to her with the box, and I was like, hey, I found these.
You left these.
And I was like, I found them. You had taken off. I was like, here they go. And she's like, oh, I marked them as lost. It's like, do with them what you want.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
what a clutch lady.
Yeah, I was like,
Still fuck you.
okay.
Amongst other things.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I don't. You.
No, I threw mine out. I was too scared to fly home with them.
That and a Glock, right?
Those NVGs? Who was it that got caught with the AK or whatever, the 240 barrel?
What?
Somebody got
No,
somebody got caught
never.
bringing back
I don't know why a 240 barrel would.
Why would a 240 be in this A bag?
No, but I don't know.
No.
But no, I thought you guys did what you could do in that situation of like controlling chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so like
you
that
definitely
was
did.
that was the biggest thing, because other than that, like I remember like looking around for a second, like the first, like when it happened, we were sitting next to found BAS. You found the spot. We set it up a little bit more,
Yeah.
but you were
You definitely broke in and
you
kicked that door
broke in
down.
and found
That was
it.
because of you.
You're always
You were like, I search people over here. This is what I do.
Yeah.
And people were like pointing me. Like, no, and I went over to like, who were the Turks? The Turks
Turks.
Yeah,
guardians. I was like,
those
this isn't it.
Caca people.
And you're like, no, the BAS is right here.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. And you're like, we search people and take your Kevlar off to like make them feel more comfortable and stuff.
right here around the corner.
I'm like, oh, he must have locked the door. And so, dude, I spent like an hour or so
Trying to
just,
break in?
Like, dude, I have a construction background, so I'm like dismantling the
lock.
the deadbolt and shit. Like, I have that off of the deadbolt
Didn't
still
we have
holding.
screwdrivers to take off the door?
I just kicked it eventually. I just fucking either I kicked it or I kicked the plexi. No, yeah, because the plexiglass was still there.
no, you kicked it open.
You kicked the door open.
I kicked the door open,
Yeah.
but I thought maybe I kicked the plexiglass and like opened it up. But
had his hammock right in that little slit between
yeah,
the wall and
Dude, that's where I remember seeing Nick sleep.
Yes.
One night, he was just like, oh,
I
hey, that's a nice spot, bro.
I fell asleep for like 8 hours in the
Bro.
mini BAS.
Me and
that dude's got a car. What a fucking tool.
me and we were doing, we were doing the whole corpsman thing for the people out there, and then Echo comes up, but it was only Nick who showed up.
who's
And-
Nick? I don't know.
Young.
Oh, okay.
And he showed up, and I was like, oh shit, what's up? Hey,
He's got his bandana
he
rocking
got, he
hard.
got his whole bandana. He's like, I'm tired, blah, 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 blah. I was like, all right, bro, you want to take a quick nap? You take a quick nap right here.
There's
cool.
AC.
Yeah, there's AC in this little hut. Take a nap.
That was when it went
8
out.
hours later. Hey, bro, we need your help. Get up.
Yeah.
It
was like,
get
what?
up.
He was one of like the first corpsmen there, right?
Yeah.
So he was up for like 48,
Yeah, 'cause he
72
was
hours.
out
And like they
there.
were, well, yeah, because remember when we got told Echo went the day before us,
Mm-hmm.
and then like you're scrolling through the fucking Twitter, the news,
All
and
the
you're
social media.
You're just seeing people fall out of planes, and you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And Echo's already there.
Well, Echo was like, who did we walk out with? But they ended up doing like security.
Fox.
Fox.
Yeah, Fox.
Around like where
They
we
were
were
up
going.
posted by the fence.
But they were just like sitting right next to the tarmac,
Yeah.
and they sat there for like 24
Bro, those
hours.
dudes got burnt
So
as fuck.
That one kid got so sunburned, they had to pull him back.
Mm-hmm. They're just laying there, eyes at the fence, at a hole in the wall, and with 240s posted up.
while they're laying in black,
Yes,
fucking
like
smart.
whatever. They did what they were told to do. So
That BAS did come in clutch though for a lot of things.
what coming clutch was when Matt came in with that whole supply box of
yeah.
med supplies. He's like, "Yo, bro, I got this for y'all." Boom. I was like, "Oh my god."
So that's where I wish you were there in that capacity for the communication, because I remember you told me about the STP.
That was like well after. Even not many people knew about the hospital.
I found the hospital on my own because me and my sergeants went out doing hood rat shit, and I was like, "Hey, we need to make a stop. We need to find like the roll to whatever."
Was this during the
Before.
I know, but was this during the commandeering of said army vehicles?
Yeah. So, yes. Yep. It was the day before, and so we're out middle of the day. We're like checking cars, like going to parking lots, checking cars and shit. I'm with like 3 sergeants, and I think a corporal, a mechanic, and we're like trying to boost cars, and then Umfried rolls up with Dash. I'm like, oh, we're in trouble, and Dash has like a huge ring of keys. Like, see if any of these work.
What the fuck?
Umfried's just like, yeah, man, we had one. It's over there. It's a 4Runner. We'll go back and we'll get it. And apparently they had the keys, but then someone else did too, and it was gone by the time we got there. And they're like, oh man, it's gone.
Everybody got so good at hot wiring cars over there.
Yeah.
Who was the Asian guy? The tall Asian in Cat Red?
Chan.
He's like, I'll show you. He never did, but he was good at hot wiring. That's so crazy. And then another, I want to say like Gunny rolls up in green camis. And fuck, here it is. We're in trouble. And he's like, y'all looking for cars? And I'm like,
Maybe.
I'm a corpsman. and like Rod or someone, they're like, you know Gunny Tate? He's like, yeah. He's like, I got some shit for him. Tell him, let him know. All these cars are secured. We couldn't get into them. I'm just like, what is going on? This is crazy.
Dude, there's a fucking hood over there.
It was
It's a Wild West.
absolute.
Bro, that shit
hood,
was
dude.
Grand Theft Auto.
It was pretty fun though.
I had I went out with. He came from Fox. He was kind of attached to us. I don't want to say his name, but he hotwired one of those tourist bus and started driving that around.
Wasn't that our bus? Wasn't
The
that?
2-1 bus?
No. It was like the coach bus. There was a coach bus over by like.
Damn, that would have been fucking nice, dude.
Yeah. But like it was like when everybody started to do that, like we were doing the search and destroy computers mission.
Yeah.
That turned into a
Deny the enemy.
destruction.
I got so much shit from that.
So much.
The whole platoon's just like going through fucking buildings, and we're over there just grabbing shit, looking through drawers, fucking for computers.
Remember the
What do you mean
Turk
by-
compound?
Yep. Yep.
We thought we got caught.
So we were hiding.
So we were hiding in the Turk. Oh no, we're in trouble. I was like, shit, how are we going to get out of this? And then it ended up being the Brits.
Also doing what we were doing.
Yeah, there's a story. I'm not going to say anyone's name or get into too far details. It wasn't good. But then they come back the next day and even more stuff is gone of more value. And they're like, man, so sorry this happened. I probably should have taken all that other stuff too. And like, you should have. It's all gone anyway. Why, like, who took it? They're like, Army came in, put guns to our faces. And it's like, oh, that's gnarly. That's like, there's some ugly stuff in there. But what you said kind of triggered something. You're like, it was a good time. And there was aspects where it was like, yeah, this is crazy. This is, there is fun parts. And I remember talking to Rambo and Rod about it. And like, we were coking and joking, setting up Rambo with certain scenarios because Rambo didn't give a fuck. And he's like, dude, I was like, Rambo, what? Dude, if we had Domino's delivered, but you were the only one to eat it, but you had to eat it in front of all these people entrapped in sea wire for some reason, we told them they couldn't leave, which is technically kidnapping. Would you eat it right here? And he said, all of it, every single bite. And I was like, you're fucked up, dude. You're a fucking piece of shit. And then, talking to Gunny about the fucking hardship and like fucking me tearing up at certain points and like that, it actually, those few podcasts, like they're exhausting because it's like bringing up all these memories of like the shit I forgot, the shit where it's just like, I remember people like, Doc, I'm like, I can't help them. I don't have enough fucking resources to do anything.
Or dude, ortho knowledge. Like there was like, dude, we did the after action report, and someone was like, we should have had like more knowledge on peds. I was like, dude, that is like a 1 in a million scenario that you're gonna work on babies in that capacity.
Yeah.
Like I knew nothing about peds at all, and like they're just like, here's this baby,
Right.
and I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck to do. Take it to the roll too.
Gonzo treated a baby. I remember that.
The head
And
wound.
Sorry,
yeah, and then he had a
Why?
I think I pawned that off on him.
I don't think
That
so.
was
No,
pawned off
no.
on me, and then I pawned it off on him.
and then I ended up
Because I was like,
Gonzo did majority of the
Same
work.
thing.
I
I
was
don't
just
know.
kind of there helping a little bit, but then Gonzo like picked the baby up, and I just see him start to fall, and like he held like baby Jesus, like kept that baby off the ground and like never let it fall or anything, and just popped back up like it was nothing.
Why did he fall?
He tripped.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
but like he was like had the baby here and then like tried to like hold it up just so like make sure like the baby or make sure the baby didn't fall. But yeah, like none of us, like unless you've worked in peds in the hospital,
Yeah, you know nothing, bro.
you're not gonna
Yeah.
know anything. I think the hardest for me was like the searching of like, because we didn't have the the FTP, female transition
Yeah.
or whatever they're called. But they weren't always around. There's only like 5 of them. So we ended up having to search all those females
Yeah.
and like knowing that like culturally, like us touching them.
they can get killed.
Yeah. And like
Yeah,
that was
that's
kind of
crazy.
like understanding that like that aspect of like this, if like they can't get in and they have to go back out and like somebody saw them get touched by an American,
Well,
A male.
a male American.
being the senior line of golf with a lot of dudes that were there more up front than us, the guys like holding the line.
Mm-hmm.
The people that got rejected from those lines died almost instantly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is, I didn't know that. I guess I could have surmised that.
I
But
just don't
having-
think you're trying to process it in the moment, because you're like, fuck, dude, this is all insane.
This is like thousands and thousands and thousands of people rolling through.
I just remember as a senior line, someone wanting to talk to me and was telling me about that, just like walking people to this Connex box.
To the hole.
And after like kids crying and like tugging on their mom, like their mom just trying to comfort them, and just like over and over walking the rejects out to the Taliban. And as they walk away, they hear either gunshots or what they were using to like save ammo were clubs.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like even right now, it's fucking really hard to think about. And like, fuck, man, like
Well, dude, think about all the stay dudes that are just watching this, and they're just looking through their scope, and they're like, dude, I could
They're-
fucking take all of them out.
Their
right now.
ROE, like the ROEs were just like crazy.
Well, dude,
for
if
over
we
there,
popped
too.
off and no officer was in the vicinity of where we were.
what do you mean? What?
Like when the ID went off, right? There was no officer in sight or like any staff NCO that was like telling us the updated ROEs.
Yeah, nothing.
It was Apparucho being, hey, what the fuck is going on?
Do you
Someone
remember him
needs to
on-
fucking
he
say
was-
something.
He was on the roof of the BAS with
Yeah,
like his SAS like down where the bomb was, and he's like screaming at all the officers.
Yeah, because he was
He was
ready.
the only one that was like taking charge. Everybody else was like, it was just like mass panic, and like they're trying to get accountability, which is good, and like, but it was like just a true chaos of everything.
See, that part with Wes on top was after me, him, and Pop, and Wes was the driver, and then me and Pop were in the back of a truck. You remember Pop?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me and him were in the back because I was at our little CCP treating, doing whatever, and then I hear Pop or I hear someone yelling, "Corpsman, I need a Corpsman." I look up real quick, and then me and Pop, we lock eyes. It's like, get the fuck over here. I'm like, okay. So I just, hey, you got this. I'm going. So I ran to Pop, jump in the back of the truck. I always have my thigh rig. So I was like, this is all I got right now. All right, let's see what we could do. He's like, well, I got this. He was like emptying his cargo pockets. I got this. And then, all right, cool, let's go. And then Wes is like, hold on. Fucking floors. And there's like speed bumps out there. And
Yeah.
Bro, I was being tossed around in the back of that truck like a little toy. I was, ooh.
So he was getting I think he was getting relieved at that time.
Yeah,
And
because
he drove back and he stops like right in front of me and he's just yeeting packs because it's all their shit.
Yep.
Yeeting it, and then I think they took you first.
They took me, and then we go out there, and then we get out there like, any more U.S. Marines? Give me all the fucking U.S. Marines.
Yeah.
And then at that time, we already cleared out all the U.S. Marines, so we're trying to go back, and then Wes is like, where the fuck is Kyle? Where the fuck's Kyle? Pop's like, fucking don't worry about it. He's a grown-ass man. He'll take care of him. These two are like going at it, bickering. I'm just like, can we go do something? I need to go work. I need to go corpsman. And then, where the fuck is he? Don't worry about it. He's a fucking grown-ass man. Let's go. So he's like, fuck it. So, and as we're driving, fucking some big-ass dude jumps on the back and holds onto the spare tire. It was Emmett. He's
Bro,
just
he's such a
holding
thug,
the
dude.
spare tire. It's like, just go. And they're like, okay. So we're going. And then we get back. I get out. And then you're hearing someone call for a sniper. And when Wes heard that, it's like, sniper. And then your story, that's where he got back up. Like, sir, what are the ROEs? Give me the ROEs. He's just trying to figure it out, trying to do something.
Great leader though.
Oh, yeah.
Wes is a good dude.
Yes,
So,
he is.
sad to see him get out, but saw him a couple weeks ago, and he's doing well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember looking up and seeing him on top of that, the roof, and
Yeah, as soon as he stopped the truck right at the gate, I was like, all right, I'm going to go treat patients.
Mhm.
And then he's like, what do you need a sniper? Give me the sass. And then he just started climbing the building. I was like, you go do your thing, Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he
What a
was
thug.
good.
Did you go to the Top Golf with them?
No,
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about. I was like, dude, that looked like a fun time.
I didn't get to go to Top Golf. I don't know. Was I in there with them at that time?
Where you stayed?
No,
Yeah.
this was like a couple weeks ago.
No, I didn't.
They had like all gotten out. Like Sanchez was there with
That was probably
fucking all of them.
Arizona.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't at that one because a bunch of them live in Arizona now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, good for them.
so but speaking of
Hit it.
I'll
like
die.
speaking of like you were talking earlier about like chilling in the Vic and weapons, I paid the price for never having rucked or any of that when I went through the screener.
Bro, you look so defeated.
I was defeated of like everything.
I just remember you passed and you got it accepted. And I'd like to give credit where credit's due, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in my bedroom, I'm like, yo, you fucking passed, dude? You're like, yeah, dude. I'm like, hell yeah. And I put it in the group chat. I was like, hey, let's give a fucking, let's give props to for fucking passing the screener. And I think you told me, like, dude, my ass is chapped so bad.
Oh, dude.
And you were like, my bum is sore. I'm like, dude, be a fucking man. What the fuck, dude?
I don't even.
My bum is really sore.
I was so in the black. Like there was like I found that like they always say they work in the black. Like that's where they work. That was a whole new level of darkness that I have ever been in. And I remember I thought I remember we were doing like the final it was like the last day. We thought we were all done. We're like, yeah, we're in the Vicks driving back, and then all of a sudden they're like, RPG. In my mind, I'm in the first Vic, and they're like, first Vicks, like, get hit with an RPG. I was like, oh, then I'm dead. Sweet.
Where the fuck is
Like, so I'm treating one patient, and all of a sudden they're like, because there was Sanchez and Bush. I almost threw my rifle at one of them. I can't remember who.
It was probably Bush. Bush always takes it too far.
I
It was
was
probably bad.
so angry, and they're like, why aren't you treating the other 3 patients? And I'm like, what other 3? And like they're like, right behind you. And I'm like, oh shit. And like I'm trying like
Fuck.
Hey, at least you didn't hurdle them.
I'm trying to like figure out exactly like what I'm doing in this moment, because I'm like, we've just done like I think we've been up for 36 hours. Mind you, the week started with, hey, you've got watch. And everybody was doing like 30 to an hour. an 81's Marine, which I do love the 81's. I don't like, definitely goofy, but 81's Marine came up with the watch bill for all three of us. 2 hour and 45-minute watches. Guess what time mine was?
Middle of the night.
1:30 until we had to wake up at 4.
Sick.
So I started off with like no sleep as it is. And but we got to that point and he's like, hey, he's got a JVD. And I'm not thinking at all. I'm just like, dude, what is going on right now? And they're like, we got to get him to LZ. It's 3 miles away. And I'm like, phew. And Sanchez goes, what are you going to do? And I was like, crike him. And I'm like looking at the other patient. He's like, what'd you say? And I'm like, oh my God, did I just say crike? And he's like, that. He starts yelling at me and everything. And I was like, shit, I'm supposed to needle D him, but we're good. And we ended up having to walk back, and like Bush is yelling at me. Apariccio's trying to get my med bag. He's like, hey, just give me your med bag, man. It's fine.
That old trick.
I'm like, yeah. And I was like, get it off the shoulder. I was like, this is wrong. And I hear Bush. He's like, you give him that med bag, I'm going to Spartan kick your ass. And then Sanchez is yelling at me. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm done. I'm going to throw this rifle at somebody.
Can't do it, dude.
Pull.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit. I don't need it.
He was so
Damn
close.
it.
I talked to him.
Now he's Senior Line though, so
He's fine
It worked
now.
out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stay got 2 good replacements, and then they got Calderon. So they're doing fine. I love Kale. Kale's so okay. Kale is
man.
What a good jab.
They got 2 replacements and then Calderon.
I don't mean it like that, but Cal is like he's not the golden child, but he can do things that like you can do things and get away with them.
Yeah.
He's Filipino?
No, he's Mexican, right?
that's
I can't remember. I don't know his
Him
nationality.
and Garcia would always go back at it
Oh, they're
because
so
Garcia's
funny.
Mexican, Calderon's Salvadorian.
That's it.
And then
so-
they always go at each other. You fucking dirty Salvia. You fucking wetback. And then it's always funny watching those 2 argue.
Cal almost heat cased on the last bit of
But
it.
yeah.
Oh, he was like, we came off the low trail, took a right to go back where like Motor T is and everything. And all of a sudden I just see Cal swaying side to side. I'm like, Cal, you good? He's like, I think so. I was like, you know where you are? He's like,
about to drop.
it's like, I'm running. And I'm like, all right, like we'll see how long you go. And he ended up making it, but he's like, dude, I was about to heat case.
Right about.
He goes, I was there.
It's so funny because both of those guys missed the first day of like the physical events.
Yeah,
like the fucking 21-mile ruck and swim and PFT and whatever else they do.
How'd
They
they do
missed
that?
One was sick and
One had one was sick, and one had strep throat.
yeah.
But
So they had valid excuses. But
Calderon started the SS Pat, made it 2 miles in at like the first turnaround point, and they're like, dude, he was white, like extremely white, and I was like, dude, you okay? He's like, I don't feel good, and he was like about to pass out, so we pulled him from that, and then so they missed the SS Pat.
what lucky son of a guns.
Dude, I didn't even make it on the SS
Mayo
Pat.
is lucky.
Oh, that's what I was gonna bring up, dude. So am I Senior Line at this point?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes and no. You and Pat are in the transition.
Oh, okay. So I asked him, it's like NSUs, we're going to battalion formation. I was like, hey, dude, how was the screener? He was like, oh, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. This dude looks like he just woke up from a fucking nap, like calm, rested. I was like, this dude didn't run the fucking screener. I was like, oh, good for you, man. And then months later, he was like, yeah, I didn't run that shit. I was like, yeah, no.
I didn't make it on the SS Pat, and then I have the infamous what's it called? O course, because my feet were so yeah. The first day we did it was a unknown ruck run with like 60 pounds.
Yep.
And Pop was leading it.
Goddamn machine.
Pop, yeah, ridiculous. But they're like, hey,
Isn't he the guy that's trying to go buds?
he's trying to
Yes.
go buds. Yeah,
I think.
Did he already go or no?
no,
No.
he'll find out in October
Find out what?
if he's getting a slot.
It's
Bro, it's
because
end of June.
it's the
The
year
fuck
group.
did they-
It's the
bullshit.
year group.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, so like somehow he's in the 2020 year group, but like they're not allowing him to.
He should get. He should get like a fresh start. Snipers usually do well.
He'll be fine.
But
He's
they
a
won't let him come in.
yeah. It's him getting into
Dude,
the Navy.
it was such bureaucracy bullshit when I was trying to get through.
See,
I'm
because
sure
of
he's
your
doing-
year group.
No, it was prior service. They did not give a fuck about
Prior service.
prior service. And like I don't know if they would say the same thing to him. Is he school trained sniper?
Yeah. No.
No. So that even if he was school trained sniper, they might even say like, well, we have to teach you the SEAL way. And that was the thing they were telling me. They're like, we don't care you're a machine gunner.
We're just gonna unteach you.
They're like, that's just a part of what SEALs do. They know how machine guns work, and they don't use them the same way Marines do. So that's almost invaluable. I was like, thanks, guys. Thank you. I really.
You're useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just waiting on the green light, and I'll find out in October.
Bro, he'll do great.
Yeah, he's a freak of nature.
Swim.
If he can swim,
he can do all.
yeah.
That was you mentioned like rucking for the first time during the screener, and granted I'd rucked, but I'm no like ruck stud. And we had our Trail of Tears and Buds the next day, and everyone in the chow hall was like, "Oh, dude, Marine, you'd be good, dude. You fucking, this is your bread and butter, bro." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're great." And I get fucking IT'd out. I get fucked up.
Running on that Trail of Tears with no weight is hard.
No, I fell out of that too. You run an 8-minute mile on sand and boots and utes. Like, good luck, man.
Nope.
It wasn't for me at that time.
Pop did a PT with us. He called it, it's like a modified Devil's Mile, but it was like,
What's the Devil's Mile?
it's like a workout, and it was like lunges, frog jumps, buddy carries. Like it was multiple different evolutions. But you run a mile, then you do these evolutions, and it's 200 yards for each one. And then while you're waiting, you're doing push-ups, and then at the end you run another mile. But like Pop was just like, let's go. And he's like, and like we did this for like an hour, and I was smoked from the first ruck because I was a genius. I was looking up like, how do I keep blisters off my feet? And I got some nasty blisters on my feet. So I'm like running the mile, and then they're giving me shit because they're like, I thought you were fast. And I'm like second to last. And then on the ruck, I packed up on the SS pad. I'm like, let's try to send this one. And I've got stocked up with like snacks and everything just to keep going. And I'm like, I think you guys saw me at the pool, or Bush saw me at the pool, and I was just not there.
I missed you by like 5 minutes because I pulled up my truck and I was like, "Hey, what you doing?" He's like, "You just missed him, but he looks like shit." I was like, "Oh, that sucks."
Some kid had to like tie his shoes, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm not gonna be the last person." Well, he came flying by me and everything, and my feet were just not good at all, and I was just in the black. So I started just handing off. People were like come passing me, and I was like handing it off, like all my snacks and everything. I was like, you guys need this more than me and everything. And then Sanchez ended up picking me up because I was going like a mile per hour, just walking because my feet were just fucked. And then I was like, shit, I'm going to get dropped. And then they're like, all right, course time. And I finally get over, do the college boy, get over, and we have to jump from that one log, or from like, I don't even know what it's called, like the little jungle gym thing, to the log and jump over it. Mm-hmm. Well, if you look at Horno's course, that log is crooked. So one side is further away than the other.
Oh, nice.
So I jump, and I hit it, like, closed my eyes, hit it directly here, and just fell back. And just ate it. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, over there, Sanchez is coming over, Bush is coming over. They're like, you good, dude? I was like, ah. Stax goes, oh, you're the first person I didn't like watch jump and like make sure that they didn't fall. He's like, oh, my bad. They haven't done that like ever since I did that little incident. They haven't done that evolution. You end up having to do push-ups or anything. But they made me go through it twice, and I got it. I don't know how I got picked up. I like saw Bush after, and I was like, dude, I'm a horrible corpsman. I told them to JV. I was like, I'm going to crike them.
You just didn't quit.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just don't quit.
That's the first time in a while that I had to quit something.
I think we had a conversation. What?
First time in a while he hasn't quit something.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, God. Yeah, I think it was like Sanchez, Bush, you. I think maybe you. We're all in like the records room talking about like who's going to go stay? Who's going to be the corpsman? And I was like, me. And they're like, okay, yeah, badass. And I wasn't being serious, but I was like, that was a little bit meaner than I was expecting. But for you, it's like, well, has the PT, whatever about his corpsman skills, we can always teach him, and he has a great attitude. And they're like, that's going to be our guy. And so you didn't quit. You're not slow, and you were humble. And I think that's a great attribute about you. Maybe you're goofy.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
But
you're
like-
definitely goofy.
100%.
But I don't think I've ever had an issue with you on like any like teaching points or anything like that. You've always, I mean, I think that's a great attribute that I definitely sometimes don't have that where I get, no, this is right. Like, well, now you get a J.
Dude, I remember overhearing, this was in, I think when we did like the wet labs in Kuwait. It was when HNS just got there. We were doing wet labs for him, and I think you argued with on how like T-CCC and Valkyrie were done. Do you remember that at all? I remember this briefly.
Can you tell me more about it?
It was just a conversation that like you did something in the algorithm that you thought was right. Like, no, like you need to follow it. And you're like, no, but sir or ma'am said you can like switch swap it. It was something like that when you included Valkyrie. And I was like, I think he probably means the right thing. I think you guys just aren't understanding him.
Well, I think he's a great guy. He didn't like me.
So
I know why.
I think we all know why. And I even talked to him.
I'm just gonna put that out. I don't know why.
There's a certain situation I was outspoken about. Then I think more people were abreast of the situation. Were keeping quiet, and I was the one to officially bring it up. And I wanted it to stop. And there was a reason. It happened at my last command. A team leader got a
Junior sailor.
assistant team leader pregnant, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
like, well,
Wheels are turning.
hey, do you really
Get it now?
Do you really think like this is professional? Like we all kept that quiet, and like now we're in a real situation, and then it just. I wasn't trying to get anybody in trouble, but I just thought it was bullshit. I still think it was bullshit, and like I don't know how to take care of that problem. How you ominous dominus, and I guess eventually they without anything to do months later, like got separated. But yeah, and then I had a bad attitude, and like almost no one in the BAS really liked me.
yeah.
As far as like,
Well, they were all like the senior dudes, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So they automatically like went side. You know what I mean?
yeah, hey, that's fine. I don't really feel. No, I don't feel bad about it.
I wouldn't. Well, I never had this conversation with him, but I wouldn't feel bad about it, especially with his position, how much influence he had with hire,
Yeah.
and what pay grade she was at. Whether she deserved it, she deserved a map or not, like whatever anyone believes, which I believe she did because she.
I don't think she's a bad person, and I don't think she was a bad corpsman.
I think.
Like,
I think she's a. You can go ahead.
I think she was a great sick call soup. She educated me on things. I think things get on my nerves when she told me I should get a haircut. I'm like, who the fuck are you? And when she told me to pick up, like pointing at shit to pick up when we're all in the working party together and you're the same rank as me, that rubbed me the wrong way. I don't think both of those people, I don't think they're bad at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're good people, and I was just angry at the world. But also I witnessed a situation that I couldn't, my personality, I'm not going to keep this to myself. I think the straw that broke the camel's back is I went to go open the LPO's office at the place we were, and it was locked. And I was like, what's going on? They're doing ranking boards. And I was like, oh, well, a certain person's in there on the ranking board when there's an
doing ranking boards.
unprofessional relationship with the person that's in the ranking board.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you were right to say something. And I think you were the one that just had enough balls to say it.
Yeah, I had two roommates. One disappeared, but the other one, it clicked for both of us. We're like, oh, this is the situation. I was like, dude, I feel like I have to say something. He's like, I think you should. Just please leave my name out of it. I was like, that's fine.
Fair. Yeah.
And then the LPO contacted me. He's like, what do you want out of this? I was like, I don't want anything. I'm just telling you there was the exact same situation.
That person should not be in the board.
Yeah, this is the exact same situation at my last command, and it ended in pregnancy. And if that happens here, like, how does that make us fucking look?
Bad.
Horrible. And I talked to him before he left. I was like, look, I feel like I owe you. He's like, I knew it was you. I'm like, okay, well, you're an asshole. but no, when I did Valkyrie, I did very well. I was like really fast at it.
I love your story with Valkyrie.
That I beat Chandler?
Yep.
Yeah. I was the fastest in the goddamn battalion. And
You're just gonna say one name, Rossetti, with me. And during Valkyrie was not paying attention the whole time.
Oh, y'all's Valkyrie went bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it was. I think it was checking the back. That might have been it, because I remember that pretty clearly. That ma'am was like, okay, so if they don't have an entry wound and on the front, most likely they don't have an exit wound, so you can skip that in Valkyrie.
Yep.
And then probably in the wet lab, I probably didn't check the back or something. And he was like, well, this is TCCC. I was like, well, I'm Valkyrie trained. So it's not different than TCCC. It's a higher echelon of TCCC. So if I'm qualified higher, then I apply those skills to what we're doing at a higher level. And that was probably the point of contention.
And I think that's a lot of things that confused a lot of people, and like in our group, was they differentiated it as two different things when it should be the same. Like if you're qualified, this is your protocol now because you're trained on this.
That's how they're doing it at CTM now, aren't
Yeah.
they? They switched it up, whereas it's not like you're just learning TCCC, doing that test out, and then doing a Valkyrie.
Yeah.
It's like all blended together, which it should be.
Because it is. It's a higher echelon. And something that helped me when I got back to kind of like get back on my feet. Never met the guy before. Gunderson sits me down. He's like, hey, I heard you're having a rough time. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm being treated like I'm a fucking criminal. I lost my clearance. Y'all know what it's about, but no one else does, and I'm ostracized here. He's like, okay. And, kind of a leadership thing. He's like, well, I need you to teach a class on the newest guidelines of TCCC. And so I pulled up deployed medicine and I taught a class, and I was like, look, it's an algorithm. The things that are highlighted in, I think it's green, is like common medic stuff. Things that are orange is going to be advanced medics. And the things that are red are like highly advanced IDCs, PAs, those. And and so that's how I approach Valkyrie TCCC, one and the same. It's like, where are your skills at?
Yeah.
And do the best life-saving thing you can. But when you put me in this is a TCCC lane, like, I don't buy it.
Yeah. Because it should be the same.
Are you excited for CTM?
No.
Dude, I don't know where you're going. I get like wanting to do it.
I'll tell you why. I told you the other day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to the hospital in Sigonella, which is where I'm going. And I want to be, I think it's called SEAT.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think the best chances for me to show up qualified for that is have fresh certs on everything. Yeah. I don't think I should show up and be like, oh, well, I was Valkyrie trained 2 years ago
They'll
on
just say
SPMAGTF. Yeah. And I think for me, I will be more confident as an instructor if I can prove to myself that I can pass this course, which everyone in tracks keeps fucking failing. So a little bit of like, I'm the first dude in tracks to get an FMF pin. That feels pretty good. And like, I'm taking over that program and conveying the latest knowledge from the last board that was completed, right? That's what you did for me. This is how they do it. You did it on deployment. That was different. He did it months ahead of me, and he gave me the fucking down and dirty. This is what you need to watch out for. And so I'm teaching the same way. And I think it would be a good thing, like confidence wise, but like, yeah, dude, I still got it. I think it'd be great to refresh my medicine because all I do is see sick call, and I've been a senior line for a while. And then another thing, when I was senior line, I had like Stanfield and Ahmed come back from CTM, and I'm like, well, I have to appoint you guys as the CLS trainers because I don't have the most cutting edge, up to date fucking TCCC Valkyrie. So I need you guys. I'll supervise the program, but like you guys are going to be the figurehead teachers because I don't have it. Y'all just did it weeks ago.
Yeah.
So that's something I want. And then it irks me. It irks me that I got kicked out for that. And every time I was going to go back, I had a vasectomy scheduled. And then I was going to go back again. And I went to take a shit and like I felt a pain in my groin. And I'm like, oh, Columbus, I need to go talk to the urologist. They have open door policy. I need to see what's up. It's been 3 weeks. And I went and talked to him. I was like, hey, I got a little pain. He did me a little cough test, touched my balls, which is always great. And he's like, so what's going on? I was like, I just have some discomfort. I don't know if it's like part of the healing process, but I'm supposed to do like this 3-week course that is heavy PT intensive. Would you like say I'm good or no? He's like, oh no, I would not suggest that. I'm like, can you write me a letter? He's like, he's a civilian. He's like, not really. I mean, I guess if it really came down to it, but like, is your command not cool? I was like, look, you tell me I really shouldn't do this. I'm not going to fucking lie to myself and lie to them. And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't suggest doing a fucking Marine Corps PFT on top of litter carries on top of litter carries. I'm like, okay. And so I never made it back. I was always slotted to go. It was like you and me flip-flop spots a million times. And
a lot of them were supposed to go.
A lot of people are supposed to go.
Did he get his pin?
Who?
Did he get his...
Oh, you mean his test?
His GC? Oh,
Bro.
all he had to take was his test?
Yeah.
I had to babysit this grown ass man to get this test.
He's young though, right?
Yeah, he's only he's in his
my
late
age.
20s.
He's 27 or
I'm
something?
still younger though, so fuck him.
Me and him are the same
Yeah,
age.
but I'll say this again. You're, however the fucking world works, you're in a position you deserve to be in.
Yeah.
I believe you're supposed to be a fucking HM2, and like the help you did with like sorting out bullshit admin was like such a surprise as someone that was newly promoted to HM2. So I'm sorry to rant like that, but I don't give a fuck what your age is. Your maturity level and work ethic is perfect for that job.
Yeah, and that's why I despised the H1s because I was like, dude, these dudes are getting fucking paid, not a lot more than me, but I was like, fuck you, and the responsibility. I think I held more of that responsibility, but if anything went wrong, then like they got the shit in the stick.
But
That's how it works.
I would say that.
I mean, I just think the huge trend of the Navy is like max, relax, you know, like
Dude, well, and that's why so many chiefs are like,
Yeah.
let's go
I'm
golfing.
out.
And I'm like, bro.
and that's what I appreciate about my chief is my chief himself broke my exam down for me. He's like, do you understand what an EP and an MP does for your percentile? Like how many points that is? I'm like, no. And he's like, dude, that's like 20 points almost, like 12 points. He like, and he's like really good with math, which is a little bit surprising. And he always is asking me like, what is that? And he's like asking me to do the math. And I'm just like, Chief, we've done this shit before. Like, I'm not good at this. Can you just tell me the answer? He's like, it's 12 points, dog. Your MP not being an EP was like 12 points on that score. So he's like,
are you getting put up for map?
I would need more collaterals. I think that would be a possibility. You
can write your own.
Do they have map packages back now?
They did. That was bum word.
Yeah. There was quotas. Like there wasn't because they like forgot division.
Mm-hmm.
But the CMC was like, hey bro,
Definitely said fuck
where
division.
are my fucking quotas, losers? And he got like what, 10?
Because wasn't Huck was supposed to go up for one?
He went up. No, he didn't.
No, he was supposed to, but then they had that like whole we don't have quotas.
There was rules. Like he didn't. What did he not do?
Yeah, Huck. Yeah, Huck. What didn't you do?
Yeah. What didn't you do?
Fucked up somehow. I just can't remember.
Yeah, you fucked up and went to New Hampshire. That's what you did.
Where all the white people are.
I can't remember where. Oh, he scored below a 50.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
And so, like, if you score below a 50, you need an EP, your FMF pin, and then like an excellent on your PRT.
Yeah.
And he hits
And
PRT.
his PRT because he was like, "Look, this dude."
Who was the dude that he was supposed to get out like in a couple weeks?
Sanchez took the EP. What?
From you.
I was just happy with an MP at that time. Now I want an EP, but I'll find out. And when do they get back? Sometime in the fall.
Bro, you should have gotten it already. Oh, because they're on ship. That's why you haven't gotten it.
Yep.
I wasn't happy because they told me I didn't get it even though I was a senior line, and my work as a senior line was above other senior lines, but I hadn't been in that position long enough.
Time and rate
And
type
I got
thing.
the number 1 MP. I was just like, all right, what the fuck am I gonna do? You know, I didn't have my pen. That was another thing I couldn't like stand on. I couldn't like beat my chest and just be like, I fucking did everything. I didn't do everything. So I was like,
Did you already have it? Yours?
That's why I got it. Yeah.
yeah, that's why.
Really?
I was the number 5.
How long did you have total
What?
to do it? You got what they tried to do with me, but they sidelined
It
you.
was 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And then I failed the board.
So 3 weeks.
So yeah, come back the next week.
No, I had 10 days.
Twice.
I did not get that. I had to. What is it, Lieutenant? The stay lieutenant was
Pinell.
Pinell.
Well, hold on. I had
PP
10
now?
days, and then I went back to being a senior line, did
Yep.
all of Bridgeport,
Yep.
and then, oh, no, you need to get it.
And then, hey, you're doing this again. Study
Did
again.
Were you a platoon corpsman for Bridgeport?
No.
No.
Or were you a?
He was senior line with,
I was like co-senior line with, but like
Oh, that's
truly,
clutch.
truly, I was like for an op, for the last op, I was platoon corpsman. But
That's pretty.
when I went to 29 Palms, I was again but like I had the grand scheme of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was tracking I knew all the Marines, I knew how everything went, and so it would be like, yo, let's talk to y'all, and I would be like, yo, Cheatham, we need to do this. He's like, sounds good, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He was just new and didn't know
Yeah,
the company
he-
as well,
well,
and
he-
didn't have that rapport as I can fucking go talk to a first sergeant easy.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'll go talk to that motherfucker right now. I don't know if that's his style.
Well, him and Eli like got to 2-1, and then like the next week, all right, you're on Bridgeport.
Yeah. And then Columbus texts me. He's like, I need you to come talk to me. I'm like, I don't know what this is. And he's like, hey, I know we were going to put you in like headquarters and you could be like chilling and studying, but we just don't have the manning. So I need you to. They helped me out for like my eval, as like they didn't take senior line away from me like they did you. And
They did.
Yeah.
Really?
he was Echo. Your
I was
Echo.
Echo Corpsman.
Echo line.
I mean, it was still on my eval, but then it was also like from this time to that time, and
Yeah.
then this time to
What?
present.
Company E Tech 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I put down I was senior line for 3 weeks
yeah,
as you should.
As you should, yeah.
As you
But,
should.
like,
because Eli had hernia surgery.
As you should.
Well,
So I
you
was
were
like-
also the assistant, so that helps you.
Makes
I
you
didn't
look good.
even know that was a job. Assistant.
It's not really. You
Yeah,
just kind of add it.
It's
It's
assistant,
just
assistant
verbiage.
to the regional manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. But yeah, that whole FMF thing, I tried to get what you guys got
Mm-hmm.
of like, hey, can I get like a couple weeks of nothing?
No.
Fat no.
Denied.
Got denied.
There's no corpsman to support stay.
there's no.
You are the state corpsman.
Yeah, at that time we hadn't ran a screener yet, and like we were so undermanned. So I asked, and I was like, they're like, why aren't you getting your pin? And they're like, I don't have time. I'm in the field. They're like, and then they're like, didn't you study in Bridgeport? I was like, I was
What a joke.
in the
Yeah.
field.
They
They're like-
always say that, and you know damn well they didn't do that shit either.
Said first class goes, well, what are you doing in the height site? And I'm like,
What the fuck?
I'm either sleeping on like obs or watch. And he's like, well, what about at nighttime? Can't you like read in your nods?
Hey,
And
bitch,
I'm like,
do you know what a hindsight is?
I'm
All
like,
right,
no.
shut the
He's like,
fuck up.
what about a white light? And I was like,
Oh, white light,
I
yeah.
was like, at nighttime.
Call sign, white light.
Well,
That
and
was 1-7. The snipes got caught using a white light, and Sergeant Major was an old sniper. He's like, sniper's call sign is now white light. And they're like, this is white light. I'm like, oh, come in.
This is white light actual.
Yeah.
Well, when I finally, we had nothing in January, so I was like, sweet, I can actually get some studying done. Lieutenant Pinnell's like, hey, just knock out the pin because I knew I had to get it. And then Eli went down for it, his hernia surgery, so he was going to be gone. So on top of studying, I was doing his stuff. We didn't have enough corpsmen and weapons, so I was covering down with CAAT and then going to the senior line meetings. And like, I'm sitting in the BAS one day and I'm like doing exactly what they told me. They asked me, and another first class comes up and it goes, why aren't you studying? And I'm like, I have to do this job.
Is this the Filipino one?
No, it's another. I'm not saying who.
So I have a story on him, and I want to tell it after yours.
Well, let me say this. I got mad at you, but I feel like you were the mouthpiece. I'm at my house studying, and I get a phone call from you like, hey, where are you?
Yep.
I'm like, at my house studying. You're like, we need you down here to study. And I was just like crushing my phone. All right, I'm on my fucking way. And then I'm in there and people are trying to talk to me and shit. I'm like, this is fucking counterproductive. God damn it.
Because what is the difference between you studying at your own house and the BAS?
It's worse.
Quiet.
Yeah, yes.
Quiet.
The best were the FMF study sessions in the chapel.
That's my bad.
That was a great idea too.
It wasn't. It wasn't really.
It was your idea?
No. See,
We need a quiet place to study.
as a yes, that was my, and
I'll get it.
yeah, and then it was 06. I'm just like,
It was horrible.
Dude, you know what was funny is that it was supposed to be all the leadership. It was supposed to be the
dude,
three HM1s, me, and Senior.
But ain't
Guess
no
who
way in
did them
hell.
all? Fucking me.
You.
I
Not
was
a
like,
chance.
bro, what the fuck?
Hey, HM2, you got this.
I was like, God damn it, dude.
yeah, that's the name of the game.
Oh, but back to I was doing the senior line stuff and like filling out paperwork for them, getting lists ready for them. And they're like, well, why aren't you studying? This takes precedence. I was like, well, are you going to go and talk to
I remember this. Yeah,
my leadership
yeah.
and like let them know, hey, he's not doing any of this? And they're like, no. And I ended up getting pissed at it because like your job doesn't stop, but they want you to get the pin so bad. But like just because you have to get the pin.
We do like 1.5, not the full 2.
And what's it called? Yeah, I was just getting pissed about it. I think I spoke to you about it that day too. And
Was that around the time we went to the your hog's den and like studied a little bit, and immediately you got pulled away. I was like, this isn't gonna work for me either. Like
that's how
this
it had
dude's
been
too busy. You study your own way, and like, dude, props to you. I didn't think you were gonna do it. It's just like for me, I found out pretty quickly. Me studying on my own wasn't really doing it. That's when I just like pulled Sanchez and I'm just like, yo, dude, y'all have to drill me on this shit. But you studied on your own and you did it?
Yeah, I would go home and like sit down and I would study from like 3 p.m. until midnight.
Yeah.
And I just kept doing that and go back to work, do like whatever Stay needed me to do whatever the company commander needed me to do, and then like go home. And I did that for like 3 weeks, and then my date ended up getting pushed because I was like, well, we're gonna send it on this one. So like luckily I was able to get those extra days. But yeah, I was stressing hard about it. But like the only good thing was, I'll give him credit, was I never like actually murder boarded like officially. I did like a Chiefs board kind of thing, but I knew my stuff. Like they weren't asking, they weren't just giving me cupcakes. Like they were making sure that I actually knew it before. But like that definitely helped. And like I did know my stuff because I was like stressing. I was like, oh, I need to know this, I need to know this, and like really like actually studied it. Although, why do I need to know the F-18 armament?
I don't know, but also 2-1 was definitely supposed to do a murder board with you, and we just never did.
My murder board
Well, it's
was
on
already,
record. I didn't do a murder board.
Mine was signed
Yeah.
on deployment.
Shout out to Clancy for Murderboarding me all week, 2 weeks, 3
Dude,
weeks.
what a G, bro.
Bro, he was the homie.
The cookbook.
I don't know
is
if you
what
watched this, but
the cookbook is what saved me.
Yeah.
And then your
My note cards.
your note cards.
Garcia, dude, if you don't fucking get your goddamn pen with those note cards, I want mine.
or the book, that cookbook. He
That
has it, right? Did you give Garcia the cookbook?
I did, I
Dude.
believe. I passed it out to all the weapons because I was like, dude, this is great. Like,
Yeah.
it literally had a breakdown.
Miller helped me in just like a simple conversation. He's like, dog, know it in and out. Like, once you know the chapter, you kind of know the generalness of the chapter. You can do a teach back. And like, now that I'm doing a teach back, it's like, oh, this again. Oh, I remember that. That was hard for me. And they talk about that in all sorts of different avenues of like, once you become a teacher of something, you know it and you 120%. But when you're just a student, you're like trying to just 80 gravy that shit and pass a course.
I was gone out of my head like an hour after.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even tell you half the stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I studied CEB the night before because I was like, I'm going to take the L on this. And I was like, I don't want to do that just in case.
Yeah.
So and somehow I passed through that section with like skin of my teeth. I couldn't remember what the third general order was, though.
I took quit my post when properly relieved. Boom. And they all laughed at me, and then I was senior on the board, and they kicked it to the next dude.
Some kid, they asked some kid what hit like the 7th general order was, and he said the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, like all the way up.
Poor kid.
And they're like, "What is the 7th general order?" And then he finally got it, and they're like, "Well, thanks for telling us every other one now."
Something you told me, I didn't think it was ever going to come true, but answering confidently, and I completely fucked up one of the fucking island landings, whatever, the first, and like my chief stopped me. He's just like, dog, think about it. And I was like, oh, but like the first half of it was just completely wrong. I don't even know if it was the right one, but I pulled something verbatim out, and they're like, yeah, sure, sick.
Confidently.
Yeah, they're like,
That's all you
sick.
gotta do.
That'll work.
That's it.
Did you have something you were trying to say earlier?
A story after him about a specific someone.
Oh, yeah, this fucker.
This will be the last one.
All right. So we're everyone's getting ready for deployment, and I can't remember what it was about, but I was, of course, complaining about the H1s. And I was like, hey, you guys aren't doing this needs to get done. And he like gets up out of his desk finally and like gets all like puffy chested. And he's like, oh, you always worry about what the H1s are trying to do, blah, blah, blah. Fucking, you just need to stay in your own lane. Like, I was an H2 before. And I was like, yeah, and you fucking suck. And like Columbus is just like quiet. Fucking Prez is laughing his ass off. And I'm like, dude, nothing's getting done. Like, we're just sitting here with our fucking hands on our cocks and not doing shit. And he just got fucking all mad. He's like, oh, fucking don't worry about what the H1s are doing. We're taking care of it. I was like, no, you're not.
That's such a the incompetent speech. You don't worry about us. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
if you knew what you were doing, you would be able to
explain,
confidently, quickly and confidently.
don't worry about it.
Look, I think 2-1 are good people. All the stories here are our own. I don't hold too many grudges against them. I hope them all well. As faces are made throughout the room.
There have been some fun times.
For sure.
I remember there's something that clicks into my head. I went to the going away, which I wasn't even really invited to at Dave & Buster's.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm there, and
dude, that was such a shit show.
I'm with
Thanks, Huck.
Oh yeah, the y'all's COVID shit, right? You're
What?
testing people for COVID, and like people,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it just wasn't done. But y'all
Yeah.
had this event. But I just remember, like, it's Huck, Garcia, Manny. I think you were around. And they're like, you think George is coming? They're like, no fucking way, George is coming. And I really didn't want to like eat any food because I'm not even in the unit anymore. I drank like a couple Red Bulls that Garcia bought for me. They're like, look, this is all our food. We paid for it. Like, eat it. I'm like, all right, I'll go eat. And like walk up, and I think it's George. I'm like, look at this bitch ass motherfucker right here. But people think I'm like causing a scene. And like Columbus like turns around. He's like, bitch, what's going on? And I'm just like, And this dude's confused. I'm like, my bad. I did not. I thought you were someone else that used to be in the unit. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was just like, man, I feel out of place as fuck. Like, dude, I'll be washing dishes, and that clicks in my head. I'm like, God damn it, dude. Fucking pisses me off. But anyway, that is 3 hours, 34 minutes.
Dude, holy
Damn.
fuck.
Yeah.
Isn't that
You really can truck for 3.5 hours.
I guess
Holy
so.
cow.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on our way here. We're like, what the fuck are we gonna talk about for 3 hours?
We're like, can come up with some good things to talk about for 3 hours.
Yeah, man. It's just shooting the shit in the BAS, you know.
Honestly,
I was a little bit nervous about like you showing up early and them not, and like us talking. And I had a little difficulty with the camera. I was like, damn, dude, let's hold that. Let me get this camera fucking up and going. But I appreciate y'all. Anytime you want to come back, we'll do it again.
I think I'll be the only one around, but
Cat's in the house.
he leaves soon. I leave soon. July 6th is now my date.
All right, she's done.
Yeah, she finished her 8 mile.
But what does she have to do? Like
Admin, turn in everything. I don't know, paperwork.
the whole week is just like,
Mm-hmm.
and then a 96, right?
Some shit. She graduated the 29th.
Oh no, the 96 like the next week.
Oh,
It's
July
like-
4th, 96.
yeah, it's like Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, right? So
Mhm.
she'll do the whole week, and then
She'll be done already.
that's cool, man. Congrats,
yeah, congrats to her.
small Asian women.
She definitely can outruck you now.
She's the only one to not fail anything.
Anything? That's good.
No test, no hike, nothing. Only female, I should say.
Good on her.
Have you seen the videos of them rucking?
Yeah,
Mm.
on Snapchat.
She outrucks him.
I don't know if she.
I
don't
stay
think
in the back.
Yeah, that's good on y'all that y'all did all that, and I hope my workout tools helped.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking godhead. I gave him this fucking pole with a weight on the end.
Big
of
ass goblet
it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
with
remember
a
seeing that.
stick.
All right,
Props to her.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Yep.
And now we still here.
Can't believe that was 3 hours.
Bro, it got warm in here.
I know it did get a little.
I was starting to bro, I'm about to take my sweater off.